This is how we do it.
Coming soon to this theater.
It's alive. It's moving. It's coming this way.
Hey everybody, what is going on? Welcome to the Horror Movie Club. This week, what are we talking about? We are talking about the last great Italian horror film. We're talking about Dell'amore della morte. Or actually, I think it's Della morte dell'amore, also known here in the United States as Cemetery Man. This was a movie that came out in 1994 when a bunch of other movies by really big directors were dropping. Like ones that were decisive for their careers. It was like around the same time that Guillermo del Toro came out with Cronos, which made him blow up and had Hollywood calling. And then, of course, Peter Jackson made Dead Alive, also known as Brain Dead. And that made him blow up huge. And Cemetery Man came out and it would have blown up big for Michele Soavi, actually, I believe his name is pronounced. But it unfortunately didn't because of life circumstances. And we're going to get into all that stuff and who Michele Soavi is and, and why this is like one of like the classic horror movies from the 90s. And, you know, the Italian horror movie industry, the Italian film industry really was pretty much dead around 1994. And the Italian horror movies were really, you know, in the late 80s were getting pretty rough. That's when Fulci was doing his really, you know, Demonia and crap like that. Really bad shit. And this one just seemed to come out of nowhere, and it made a lot of people like yours truly hope that Italian horror was going to make a comeback, but unfortunately it didn't. This was actually just sort of like a swan song. Last hurrah for the Italian horror film. Can you tell them you're passionate about Italian horror movies? Yeah, big time. But anyway, enough of my freaking yapping. Let's bring on my boy, your boy, Matt. What's going on?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Pretty good.
It's a crazy movie, man. I liked it. It was definitely like, you know, Tim Burton-esque and Guillermo del Toro, Peter Jackson style, you know, reminded me a lot of those movies. But like you were saying, it also reminded me of Dylan Dog a lot. I don't know if you got around to watching Dylan Dog with Brandon Routh, but yeah, both movies are sick.
I haven't read. I haven't seen the Dylan Dog with Brandon Routh, but I've read the comic book.
Yeah.
We're gonna get it because that's like a weird thing about this movie is that it's based on a novel written by the guy who did Dylan Dog, and this movie stars Rupert Everett, who Dylan Dog is based on. He's like supposed to, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. So basically, Homeboy was playing the character that was based on him in a while.
I haven't seen him in like forever. The first time I seen him was in Inspector Gadget, you know. And then that was the only thing I seen him in. And then I saw this. I was just like, oh, okay. He's got a crazy face. It kind of goes like this.
Oh yeah, no, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. Yeah. He's got an interesting head. Like I'm surprised that David Cronenberg never used.
It's like a slide, like a fucking mountain. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean he's like good looking, but like in a freaky way.
Yeah, he's like a character.
Do you know what I'm saying? He would have been a good James Bond, I think, maybe if he was a little older. And then, of course, we got to bring on my boy Preston. Preston, what's going on? You sexy mofo.
Chip 2.
What?
I said, what you up to?
Well, don't put my up to. Talking about fucking Italian horror movies, B. What do you think I'm up to?
Cemetery Man, like I watched it again yesterday, and I was like, it's so much better than what I remember. And then, we started watching a Tubi original called The Thicket. Did you ever see that?
Oh, based on Joe Lansdale.
Yeah. But one of the guys in there is James Hetfield from Metallica.
Oh,
like one of the guys hunting them down. I haven't finished watching it. It's actually pretty good. Like it's not bad at all. And the bad guy in there is Juliette Lewis. You know what I mean?
Like Billy the Kid.
Dude, she looks hard too, dude.
Yeah.
She is not the pretty young thing. She's not the hot chick at the party anymore. Let's put it that way.
The thing that was always great about her was that Juliette Lewis was one of those people that was like self-aware about like her strengths and her weaknesses, and she was like, I can be like really kind of hot and sexy in like one movie, and then in the next, like something like Strange Days, for instance, right? She's like super smoking hot in that, and then in California, she's kind of like white trash and kind of
Natural Born Killers.
She's such a good actress. She actually carried that movie. Like from what I've seen of it anyway. And they also got Peter Dinklage, you know, the guy who ruined Hollywood for little people.
Yeah.
And,
pulled up that ladder right behind him. It's like, yep, those are all mine now. Everybody else go suck it.
I hate to say it, but that was kind of a smart move on him, like selling out all of his people to go ahead and make money.
Yeah, he's like Lobo, man. He killed his whole planet, you know.
Pretty much. That's it. He's a little tiny Lobo, is what he is.
He's Lil Bo, like
Lobo,
like L-I-L-Bo, Lil Bo.
Dude, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see Peter Dinklage. You want to redeem yourself in my eyes? Play Lil Bo.
Dude, he played the Toxic Avenger, he played the Toxic Avenger that never got released. So
really?
Yeah, they buried that shit. They buried that shit.
They buried that fucker.
Can you get it on the dark web or something like that? Or
no,
I don't know.
I don't think
Peter Dinklage played in the Toxic Avengers. That's what you're saying?
The remake of the Toxic
never
Avenger.
released. Produced by Elijah Wood. He's in it too. I think Kevin Bacon's in there.
Fuck out of here, dude. I gotta find that.
Dude, you can't find it. They won't put it out.
Somebody had to snuck that bitch out.
It's almost as bad as like making a Hellboy movie and not putting it out in theaters, you know, and releasing it on demand in the 7th.
They said that about the Fantastic Four movie, the one that Stan Lee commissioned, only so he could retain the rights until they actually made it.
Yep.
And it's never released, but that motherfucker floated around the fucking con scene forever.
Yeah, man, forever. That and also the Japanese Tomb of Dracula cartoon.
Mm-hmm. Right? And the Japanese Spider-Man.
Yes. Oh, and then of course we got to welcome Jeff Bracey. What's going on, man? Good to see you.
What's up? Since I last talked to you guys, one of the reasons I haven't been available, I have changed location. All the hullabaloo and turmoil that comes with that, but I'm happy to be back amongst you.
Nice.
And that Toxic Avenger, eventually, it will rise. We will get to see it one day. Like,
well, you know,
the FF.
Well, the Salem's Lot movie that they shot like 3 years ago, I know that is finally coming out on streaming or something.
On Max.
I mean, look at how long it took them to de-shell the New Mutant.
I
remember that shit. Yeah,
that was supposed to be a theatrical feature too.
I mean, like this movie I watched years ago when it first came out, and I made it to about the halfway point before I was still like, no, I ain't finishing this. It got too weird for me. Like when the hot chick plant zombie started making out with him, I was like, I'm not doing this. I made it all the way through for this, and I'm glad I made it all. Like, okay, this film is really out there. I've got different ideas now than I had way back then.
Yeah, it's very peculiar. It's what I would call Arthouse horror. It's like an Arthouse zombie. That would be my definition of it. Pops, what's going on, man?
Pops?
Digging your new background, man.
Yeah, I'm digging I'm digging the green screen effect.
Oh yeah, man.
So I got a new background, and then I wore a shirt for both.
Wayne Man.
And Wayne
The
right there.
background. I could have wore a horror shirt, but it wasn't
You don't have-
appropriate.
You don't.
Shirt,
It's all good. It's all good. This is a come as you are party. You don't got to fucking dress up or any shit like that. But real quick,
you can't see, but I'm actually wearing a church T-shirt.
You're wearing a what T-shirt?
I'm wearing a church T-shirt.
A church T-shirt. Hey man, there's a lot of religious horror, you know.
Oh yeah, like Terrifier 2.
Yep.
I was like, nobody's just my head. It's cool.
Bunch of stuff coming. I just wanted to do Week in Horror real quick because there's like a bunch of fucking news.
Nice.
For one thing, expect us a remaster of Soul Reaver 1 and 2.
Yes, sir.
This is like the latest game that's going to get the revamp treatment. You know, like beefed up graphics, but basically the same game. Because people don't want to play new video games because like new video games suck, so they're just repackaging old video games.
Yeah,
it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to see how it looks. Like what they're
That's
gonna
fine.
do with the polygons and stuff.
Yeah, good luck.
I heard they're including a comic with those games too.
Apologize, Ubisoft.
Oh, really? You comic with that?
Ubisoft can apologize all they want. But
it's a rumor. It's a rumor.
There's a rumor. There's a comic coming out maybe with this.
Yeah, it's going to be included. It's going to be. I heard. I mean, anyway, it's going to be included with the game.
Oh man,
interesting.
Man, there's a sweet T-shirt, man. There's a sweet T-shirt out there too. I definitely.
Yeah, there's a nice one. That's all right. Kind of looks, you know, kind of ganked up, but whatever.
Yeah, if they went to like a video game movie, this would be a hard one to mess up.
I think so too. Although you know, like Kane is my favorite character. You know, out of that universe.
I like Raziel, but
yeah, they're both pretty dope. I mean, Raziel's more visually, you know, like
now when I played Legacy of Kane, like you know the Kane series, because it's completely separate from Soul Reaver. Like Soul Reaver's there to complement Legacy of Kane.
Yes.
But Legacy of Kane, I mean, that game will make you love Kane.
Yeah,
I'm saying like it does. Yeah,
fuck yeah. Crazy. I mean, you know, there's that there's a video game on Steam. It's an indie game that's called V Rising, and basically it's Legacy of Kane, like beefed up, but it's like you know top view and everything. It's it's a lot like the original. So I don't know if they're actually going to show the new beefed up graphics or not. Let me check this out. It's kind of that's we're not getting video on this unfortunately, but it looks cool. It looks cool.
Yeah.
I wish that game it had so much lore included with it, plus all of Raziel's brothers. You know, because all of them were bosses in the game.
I gotta go fix something real quick. I'll be right back.
But you couldn't see the detail on the brothers. You know what I'm saying? With the original game, I mean, the game, like they were cool. Like one of them was actually the creature from the Black Lagoon a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I must go fix something. I will be right back.
You got it, man.
Be right back. I will be right.
We hear you. We believe you. We believe you.
This is the update.
I can't wait to see, like, if they put more detail into the brothers. I would, dude. That'd be sweet.
Like Zuma?
You know? Yeah, because they're kind of like they're all supposed to be mutated, like Raziel. You know, like
that's Kane's legacy. All those dudes.
Yeah, dude. And they were like seriously mutated. I don't know, dude. Like, I really want to see how they do it.
That's why he got butthurt about Raziel because he evolved the correct way. He got all jelly and ripped his fucking wings off.
Real
Did he know? I mean, he's missing his bottom jaw. Oh no, you mean before? Yeah, before he cast him down. Yeah, that's true. Kane was a jealous little bitch, is what he was.
I got a Kane toy in my garage.
Be better than me.
Pretty sick.
So the collection's actually coming out December 10th, and it's going to be 1 and 2 released together.
Sick. I wonder if they're going to do Blood Omen, dude. Blood Omen 1 and 2, and then Legacy. Defiance. Defiance is the 5th one.
Yeah, let's look at the article here. 2002's Blood Omen 2, 2003's Legacy of Kain Defiance are not included in this collection.
Oh, okay.
But hopefully they will be.
I think they will. I mean,
I think they only have the rights to.
Depend on.
They don't have.
Well, it's probably going to depend on how well.
I think they only have the rights to Soul Reaver.
Okay.
Not Legacy of Kain. You know.
Interesting. Check this out.
Santa.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's a Terrifier 3 Art the Clown popcorn bucket.
The fuck?
No
That you're gonna be
way.
able to get at the movie theater.
That's awesome.
Dude, I heard that the actor that plays him was thrown up in the premiere of the third movie.
Really?
What?
Oh,
Are you serious?
no
Yeah,
way.
That's what I heard.
That sounds like propaganda to me.
Yeah, it does.
If it's,
Yeah, it does.
I mean, the last one was they were handing out barf bags on Yahoo.com because
Yeah.
they gave it two weeks in theaters, and people they were handing out the barf bags with art on them. You know.
Well, I
people
remember-
were
I
throwing
mean,
up and getting
if that's
Disney
if
shit.
that's true, that's a pretty good endorsement.
Well, I mean,
Well, I
how do you
remember
not barf
Damien Leone, like his response to it was like, "No, I'm not making this up. Like this was actually happening." And he's like, "Trust me, I would make that shit up in a heartbeat." Right?
Yeah.
He's like, "I'm shameless. I'll go full fucking William Castle with that shit." Right? Because it's like almost tradition. It's sort of a lost tradition, but it is a tradition when it comes to like low budget horror filmmaking. And he was like, but no, it's like actually people were like tossing their cookies and fainting and shit. Some people are just pussies, I guess. I don't know.
I've never done that, dude. Not in any movie. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, you've got people have different levels of what they can take, right? If you're like we're pretty jaded horror fans, right? We've seen like some pretty rough stuff, like the roughest, right?
Yeah,
like Cannibal
we
Holocaust.
We are not the normies.
Right.
The closest I ever came to throwing up was the other night. Like my old lady made spaghetti, except it wasn't the spaghetti she made. She got some of that organic like ground beef, you know. And while I was eating it, I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I pulled out, and it's a little tiny bone, right?
Oh shit!
That's why I don't eat ground beef.
I'm like, "What the fuck is this?" Yeah, I was like, at first, I was like, "Oh, chicken bone." And I was like, "Wait a minute, there's no chicken in this fucking spaghetti." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, looking at it, and I'm like, "This doesn't even look like a chicken." I was like, "Oh fuck! If there's somehow at the factory they let a rat get into the fucking."
Dude, they got. There's no FDA, dude. The FDA basically effectively doesn't exist anymore. They can do whatever they want. They can put.
Dude, I was
Sometimes
like,
the bones get in there though. Sometimes in the grinder. I speak.
dude,
from
this was not a cow bone, dude. This was a fully together bone in this.
Some guy probably just like was eating a chicken wing and threw it into the fucking mixer.
This was smaller than a chicken bone. I'm telling you, it was tiny. And I'm like, the only thing I could figure is like mouse, you know, or
I've seen small ones in there. Like personally, I've grinded.
She's like, look. She's like, well, I guess we're gonna throw that away. And I was like, fucking, don't trust organic.
Just don't trust. Here's the thing: don't trust ground beef. I know that's like an extreme thing to say, but I remember Anthony Bourdain was once asked, like, is there any food that you would like be reluctant to eat or that you wouldn't eat? And he said, yeah. What? A hamburger made in America? He's like, you know, if I'm overseas or something like that, you know, by all means. I mean, shit, in Japan, he was eating chicken sashimi, raw chicken. Mm-hmm. And the guy that ran the restaurant was like, was surprised. He was just like, really? You can't get this in America? Why not?
Wasn't I seen a thing about Anthony Bourdain though. Wasn't he a short order chef at a diner? Before he
was like a 4-star restaurant chef.
Okay, all right. No, I
mean he may have been like a short order cook, maybe when
he saw it early in his career.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that right there will kill you on any type of like diner food or anything like that. You know.
Right, but also you know the safety standards in America have changed.
Speaking of safety, have you guys been keeping up with the Diddy stuff lately?
It's Diddy.
It's fucking crazy, dude.
I just know it's like that war.
Why it's Diddy.
Did you guys see
the Bible for it? You know, right now.
What they thought was like baby oil and lube, Like they confiscated 1,000 bottles of what they thought was video. Turned out to be HDMA.
What?
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. And I'm
Because
like,
you
what?
realize, like, the line
Well, they said
reality and satire is just it's been completely fucking blown to fuck.
Well, they
I know
did.
what's real and what's not.
They did say that anybody who wasn't compliant at his parties, like he would drug them up, and they would, all of a sudden, like, do whatever you wanted. Like if, like, hey, bang that dude in the butt.
Whoa.
No, I ain't gonna do that. And he's like, here, have some lube. And he's like, I feel like banging that dude in the butt.
He was the worst, man. I mean, like, karaoke artist, right?
Oh yeah.
That's really what he was. He was a karaoke rapper.
Yeah.
Like bad karaoke rap, not even like a good like fucking karaoke rap.
He was always annoying.
Fucking horrible, no talent, man. And I always had the feeling that he was the one who murdered Biggie Smalls. And that's
what they're saying. They're saying that he took out both of them. Like he was like, he took out both Biggie and fucking you boy. And I'm like,
I mean, and then he came in and like he like owned MTV, dude. He just
like it turns out he was the kingpin.
Yeah, he was. He had a whole floor in his house was a bed almost. You know what I mean?
The dude's a fucking
bed.
Hyperactive sexual supervillain or something.
Yeah, straight up, dude.
Straight up.
Scary
straight up. That's exactly what he is. That's exactly what he is. Right. Like a James Bond villain.
Bieber around like a party favor.
He's a straight up the boys villain. Like
they were talking about
Mark Millar villain.
Like that kid that was like a superstar. What was his name? Aaron Carter or something like that. Yeah. And they said Aaron Carter was going to come out and expose Diddy, and then all of a sudden he died. You know what I'm saying? Like his death.
Really?
Dude. Like,
so it wasn't just Justin Bieber. It was like this other kid too.
Oh, dude. Yeah, Aaron Carter. Yeah, and that's Aaron Carter was about Justin Bieber's age.
They're putting together all the evidence right now, like a Bible.
And
they have a lawyer.
Oh, and
50
cents.
50 cents in negotiations with Netflix to go ahead and do a whole expose.
Oh, hell yes. I love. You know what? I love 50 Cent because he's the one who destroyed Ja Rule, who was like the worst. Was also like maybe the worst ever. And 50 Cent just turned himself into a Ja Rule destroying machine.
Well, yeah. Now he's got his sights set on Diddy.
Yeah, and he's in like the Expendables, dude.
Too. Ice Cube in a
he's ready to
Ice
fuck
Cube
with
in a live performance last night. Ice Cube went out live and said, "You will not catch me or any of my boys at any of those fucking parties."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. People knew. Yeah. Well, I mean, 50 Cent already said that. Like Diddy was like, "Yo, man, you know what? Why don't we just like go shopping? Take the day off, go shopping, and I'll pay for everything." It was like, basically, that's like the sort of thing that you would say to a woman.
Well, that explains a lot. You remember that video of him and Mike Tyson sitting on a couch doing an interview, and Mike Tyson picks Diddy's hand up away from his leg and scoots over.
He's like, I wouldn't even bite
on him. Yeah.
I mean, it turns out that he's a fiend. I mean, I just thought he was just a no talent dude, right? Not necessarily like a bad human being, but somebody that I would mock for his just like conspicuous lack of rhyming ability and any kind of originality.
Very low energy, pity.
Very mediocre and very low energy. Like it's the kind of rap where it's like the appeal of it was you could listen to it and be like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah, it was mumble.
You say that. You say that, and then he gives you some.
What?
You say that, and then Diddy gives you some sex juice, and then you're like, "Oh no, Diddy's the greatest ever."
Yeah, you're actually pretty good. Yeah, you're actually pretty based, and you got
beware the pink cocaine, boys. Beware the pink cocaine.
Oh my God.
Diddy Devil.
So this is a new still from Terrifier 3 coming out on October 11th. I have a ticket to see it on the 10th. And check this out. You thought the popcorn bucket was kind of cool?
In return.
See it.
Oh, that's cool.
Early.
Yeah.
That's fucking.
Oh, what up, James? Yeah. What up, everybody in the chat? Yeah, sorry, I haven't been keeping an eye on the chat too much. But these are fucking rad, man. I want one of these. Popcorn bucket, I'd be into as well, but these are fucking rad.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. And who do you think's more of a badass? So, do you think it's Art, Freddie, Jason, or Michael?
Diddy.
The shape. The Shape because he's the OG. The Shape
in a battle. Who do you think would outlast all of them? We really don't know yet.
The Shape.
I'm down with the Shape because like he is the epitome of evil. He is the boogeyman.
Oh no, I don't think Jason. Jason's fucking.
And Jason, remember, because also with Jason, you have to ask yourself: is it like
Jason X,
living Jason, living Jason, or zombie Jason, or zombie cyborg Jason?
Yep.
Zombie cyborg Jason, just because he's cool looking. That's
that was great.
It's hard to say.
I recently decided that he's not a zombie; he's a revenant.
There you go. Yeah,
an
undead thing driven.
Terminator.
Right. Zombie isn't the right word, but yeah, he is like a reanimated corpse, but he's reanimated by a spirit of vengeance.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think
Jason would take everybody for some weird reason. That's kind of my thing. You know, I don't know enough about art.
For me, it's always going to be the Shape because he was the OG. And also because, you know, he took fucking 6 rounds to the fucking chest at close range, fucking 38, and got up and walked away, which means he's supernatural, which means he's pretty much indestructible. At the end of that movie, it's like he's everywhere.
Yeah, so and that was Carpenter's intention. That's why you hear him breathing over each of those scenes at the end credits.
Sup?
Although my canon for that is Halloween 2, and Halloween H2O, because I figure if you are going to put an end to him, the decapitation is the only way it happens.
Right. If you cut his
until somebody's put on his mask.
With any monster, excluding the Green Knight, right? Excluding the Green Knight, any other monster, any other creature, mythical creature, you cut its head off, it's going to be pretty much cooked. You figure, right? Yeah. It's only the Green Knight that could pick his head back up and just put it back on and be like, "See you in a year."
I don't know.
Although I did kind of like what they were doing with this.
Somebody ate his fucking heart.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, I did kind of like what they were doing with. They didn't commit to it because I thought they were going to pass the torch by somebody getting his mask, and like the evil had suffused that, but they didn't go there.
My favorite part of H2O.
That at the end.
It was the first time.
I'm talking about the newest series of film.
I was gonna say it's the only one that's actually somebody got scared, like a jump scare from him, and punch him in the fucking face. I thought that was funny. I'm sorry, that's the thing that stuck up to me. Like in H2O, that was the thing. It's like he comes in and somebody's like, poof, punch him in the fucking face. And it's like, hey, about time. Like somebody fucking jump scared you. What the fuck happens? You want to punch him in the fucking face? It's like
I remember H2O being okay, but not loving it, but I also haven't seen it in like 20 years.
Yeah, not the best, but that's the fun part of it, though. I think
6 is actually a lot better than I remembered. But yeah, I mean, you know, with like Halloween Kills, it's like I remember some people were like not happy about it, and I was like, you realize that this is like what part of Halloween 12 do you not understand? Right?
It's like
Halloween 12. I think one of the things I like. I think one of the key moments for me with I think one of the key moments with me for H2O is they really seem to, the director of that or the writer, one of like really seemed to understand the inhumanity of him, because that scene where he just lowers himself down from the ceiling with one hand,
one arm,
you know, that's it's not like something like a normal monster thing with you, like it really to me captured the essence of like what Carpenter was doing is like making him seem like less of a person and more like a thing.
I think
I felt like they captured that in H2O.
I agree, because that's one of the thing about him is that the fact that he will be somewhere for like 3 hours if he has to, just to fucking get the scare on you, or you know, just stare at you. And I thought that was the thing that was like, that guy had to be there for a fucking long time and just fucking like,
Yep, it's because the Shape is all about emptiness, right? Like they were originally going to like do something more creative with that mask, and they just hit it with the primer, and Carpenter was like, just leave it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the epiphany was like, leave it like that. That's fucking perfect.
But that's the thing. If you watch the first and second movie, he does stalk people. He likes to put fear in people.
Oh,
like,
dude.
He will stare at you down just so you're fucking scared and piss yourself or something. And a lot of people forgot about that aspect of.
Yes.
They made him. Some people turned him into Jason.
But this is what I love about
what I love about Brian here.
What was that?
I love Brian that you insist on calling him the Shape, because so few people get that.
I know.
So I was like, oh, they, like, I mean, it's right there in the credits, the Shape.
I don't know. The only person I think that could compete with the Shape is Scary Terry. I think Scary Terry.
I don't even know who Scary Terry is.
Yeah. What's the Scary Terry?
Rick and Morty.
Oh,
yeah. You can run, but you can't hide.
I think I know what that one is. I think I know the total.
Yeah.
It's a parody of Freddy.
Yeah.
In Dead by Daylight, Michael Myers, they've like nerfed him big time, unfortunately, so he's not fun to play anymore. But when he was fun to play, it was great because your power.
Yeah, he was my favorite one to use.
You sneak around and you just fucking stare at people. And as you're staring at people, and it's so much fun when people are like crouched down low and they're sneaking around trying to do generators, and they turn and they look at you and they just see you just fucking standing there, just staring at them, not moving. And the whole time your fucking meter is filling up, and that's when you get to go fucking buck wild and fucking grab their ass, shake their ass.
There's another one.
Just don't do that in real life.
So much fun. So much fun. Yeah, but they nerfed him. He's not fun to play anymore.
I don't know how they called him, but remember, like, I didn't like the first one was okay, but I really liked the second one for some reason because I liked the creature. It was Jeepers Creepers.
Oh yeah.
And the second one, like that character was so fucking cool.
Oh
yes, I agree.
Then after that, I saw the third one. And like, what the fuck?
I like
the third one trash. So was the fourth one. It's even worse.
The
didn't
first
even
one's
know
really good because of the
new one's bad. Well, yeah,
the new one's not made by Silva, and it's terrible. It's absolutely wretched.
Yeah,
don't bother. Don't waste your time. They got a. Yeah, the third one. The fourth one is. It doesn't even have Jonathan Breck starring as the Creeper. They tried to do something interesting with the mythology, but they completely fail. It's hard to watch. It's not worth it, guys. Don't watch it.
It's another one of those where I find the sequel is better than for the first one.
Who's worse, Victor Salva or Troy Duffy?
Yeah, is he a gargoyle? Like
that's a good question. That's a good question. I would say Victor Salva because Victor Salva is like a convicted. Can I even say it? A PDF file.
He's a P diddler.
Yeah.
Yes. He's a PDF file.
He's a P Diddy.
Troy Duffy's just a dick. Yeah. Troy Duffy's just he's like a PDF file.
He's a P Diddy.
Right. So it's just, but yeah, that documentary about Troy Duffy, which is called.
What? He really filmed 28 years. Oh wait, 28 years later.
Yes.
Yeah, 28 years later.
This is maybe the coolest news. This is maybe the coolest
iPhone,
news.
Yeah.
Daniel says that they have wrapped filming on 28 years later. 28 years later is in the fucking can.
Filmed in iPhone.
I didn't know that movie. That's my goal, man. I'm going to make either a barbarian movie or a horror movie on my phone before I die.
Wait, they filmed the whole movie on an iPhone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Remember,
a lot of people are doing that now.
Digital video camera.
I don't know if I'm going to like that. Like, I don't really like those those phone movies.
Yeah, but dude, at this point, you can.
Yeah, I mean, they've got some pretty serious lenses.
With Android, Samsung, and iPhone, you can film in RAW. In RAW, it's what you need to make a special effect movie. Like, it's technically the same rendering and the same camera that you have on a professional filming camera.
Yeah,
they're saying that the iPhone right here that you use is
unreal. That is absolutely unreal.
28 days later. So
is it going to be like a found footage movie? Because I can't stand those fucking things.
Dude, it comes out.
Because you can.
Camera. I'm not.
I mean, the way they
remember that the original movie was shot on like digital video, and it was the first movie ever shot on digital video, and that's why no matter like what they do with that movie, they put it on Blu-ray and shit. It's never going to look less grainy.
Mm-hmm. And this iPhone is better than that.
No, like man, like you can. They've got all these rigs for phones now. The phones, they vlog, like they've got jibs, they've got stabilizers, they've got all kinds of things for phones. You can put a phone on a drone and get shots.
Get your movies together, guys. Get your low budget fucking horror movies together. Everybody watching on the panel. Get that shit cooking in your head, dude, because this isn't a far-fetched of an idea.
You know, it's the thing I've always wanted to do.
If you want to see my low-budget horror movies, they are on YouTube.
We'll drop that link.
Dropping some links.
Drop that link, son.
Mr. Bracey on YouTube.
Okay.
Look for the folder that says My Films.
The Crooked Man or the dollar store version of the Blair Witch. Now, come on now. If you've read the comic book, which, by the way, is illustrated by the late, great Richard fucking Corbin, the Crooked Man is fucking spooky as fuck. Is he going to be spooky as fuck in this new direct-to-video movie? I don't know. You know, I never had high hopes for it. I think it's probably going to be trash. However, I will watch it. I will give it a chance. And if it's good, then it'll be that much better because I'm going in expecting.
I remember, like Ron Howard was supposed to film like a whole movie on a phone or something. Like, you remember that? Like,
it's been done before. It's been done before.
I don't think he ever did it.
Spielberg did a whole music video already.
Yeah, but no, there've been a bunch.
I don't remember who did it, but somebody several years back now filmed a psychological iPhone just to see if they could do it. I can't remember who it was, but it was a well-known director at the time. So it's been done.
Steven Soderbergh.
From what I was told, there's some scenes in fucking Deadpool that was.
That's dope.
So yeah, this is written by Alex Garland, directed by Danny Boyle, and Cillian Murphy is in it. That's awesome. This is literally
that's outstanding.
Of all the original people that made the original movie.
You should make some pretty good money, you know, like not.
Dude, people are ready for this.
Movie. Yeah,
people are ready.
Dude, I love 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later.
I like both of the first.
I like Weeks.
Me too.
Me too. Especially that intro. Fuck, it's so metal.
Well, that
that intro.
Carlisle and Gleason opening to a horror movie ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one problem that movie has is that the opening is so stunning. It knocks you so flat on your ass that the rest of the movie can never live up to that.
That is a bad thing too.
Yes.
But I also agree that like if you either have a good ending or a good beginning, and you got something good in a comic.
Oh my god!
That opening,
styling.
That opening with that guy having to abandon his wife is such a gut punch.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome.
Yeah, that one shot of Robert Carlyle just booking it, and then suddenly you see coming over the crest of a hill. A bunch of fucking
dude.
Suddenly there's hundreds of them.
Yeah. The only thought I had was you should have left the girl. You should have left her. You know, I was like, that's not your daughter. Fuck that chick. You know what I'm saying?
Great.
Yeah, Robert Carlyle is a criminally underrated actor.
Check him out in Castlevania Lord of Shadows, where he plays Dracula. Fucking dope. Felix Haas saw Hellboy.
Did you see that Felix is saying that the new Hellboy movie sucks?
Yeah, he's in Australia, so we got to get that theatrical release. Unlike us,
I never had high hopes for the new Hellboy movie.
I have extremely high hopes. I heard the fans love it. Normies hate it. But we'll see.
Like I tell you, man. What
about Blood Hunt?
Blood
Hunt? Sam, you gonna watch Operation Blood Hunt, Sam?
What is this here with this?
Come again?
Operation Blood Hunt, the new werewolf movie.
Yeah, what's this here?
There's something called Operation Blood Hunt.
Oh.
It's got
it.
John Rhys Meyers and Rampage. Looks fucking dope.
And yeah, I believe that this is about an entire town that turned into werewolves.
Yep, it's gonna be like The Purge.
I'm totally down for that.
It's gonna be fucking sick.
It's time for a good werewolf movie.
Fuck
Dude,
yeah!
Check out Operation
time
Blood
for a
Hunt,
good
dude.
werewolf movie.
That werewolf looks pretty badass too.
Yeah, I like it. And practical effects for the fucking win.
Yeah,
thank God.
Have you guys seen the preview that they showed? They showed off the makeup for the new remake of the Wolfman. I don't like the design at all.
Yeah, it's trash.
Where you got like the long white hair.
He started.
It's an abomination. Yeah.
Not holding up high hopes for that movie.
Oh no!
Yeah,
I mean, it's
like
really normal For fuck's sake, I
hate to compare it to Rick Baker, but like after Rick Baker's take on the Wolfman, which paid so much homage to the Lon Chaney,
that's my favorite.
Wolfman.
The Jack
favorite werewolf.
Yeah.
After that.
Why do they keep beating these fucking movies to death, dude? You don't have to redo the Wolfman. I mean, the last one was fucking amazing, dude. I mean,
yeah, you do.
Move on to the Creature from the Black Lagoon or some shit like that. Like, Jesus Christ, there's so many other fucking properties they can work on.
Yeah.
Do a decent.
That's actually happening.
Do a decent version of fucking Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, where it's not like fucking like the one that they're making now. I mean,
so okay,
that'd
Matt,
be amazing.
Question.
Yeah. I'm
excited about a new werewolf movie. Don't like the fact everybody seems to be calling their shit Blood Hunt lately, though.
Oh
no, I'm down for a new werewolf movie. I just don't want to see the Wolfman remade.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
it's called Wolfman, not
the costume.
Oh, no Talbot, no Lawrence Talbot.
Yeah, the costume, the makeup that they showed was. I appreciate that they showed it. Like that was pretty cool of them to do that. Like, oh, you know what? We're just gonna go ahead and show it to you. And I will wait. I will hold judgment until I see it on film because you never know. Like sometimes, like the stills I saw for Rawhead Rex and Fangoria back in the day look like crap.
Oh wow!
When I saw it on the screen, it's like, oh wow, this actually looks a lot better when it's lit and it's moving. It's got some film. But just as somebody who's done makeup effects and creature design and stuff like that, I look at that as like it's kind of underwhelming. I mean, you can make it look good on screen, I'm sure, but like that first teaser was did not excite
disappointment.
me.
I think it
Feral
looks,
Beast.
I think it looks so shit that I think that it's a ruse. That I actually think that the real makeup.
Oh, you think they're setting them up?
It's the feral beast, like in the Wolfman, with Hopkins gets bitten by a feral Indian boy that looks nothing like him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it might be this crust punk in the woods that bites the main character. That's what we're all praying for. But
I would be so careful about doing these.
Universal Studios for a walk. I don't think they would do that.
That's the ploy. That's the ploy they could butt
the Wolfman. So
because that's a ploy they could totally bite them in butt because like people are so dialed in to getting their movie news and information online through like say people like us as opposed to what's supposed to be actual review sites like Rotten Tomatoes because we can't trust anything media wise. So like if fans start bagging on it, they're like, well, I'm not going to bother to see that. That's what I'm saying.
That's another thing.
Like people,
you're right.
People turn to folks like us to see what we're saying because we're obviously genuine fans of this. So
plus people are so used to being disappointed. Like you show them like a shitty version of what's to come. They're gonna be like, I absolutely believe.
What I'm worried about like is if this is a really clever ploy. Because if this is
going to fuck up the opening weekend,
what it's
you
need
need asses in seats on any like a book, a movie, an album you're launching that day. You need asses in seats. You need tickets sold. And if they're all thinking it's a crust punk,
that's what I'm saying. If
that's stupid marketing.
If that little teaser is a ruse, it could backfire horribly on.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's by Leigh Whannell. It's by Leigh Whannell who did The Invisible Man, which doesn't have an Invisible Man in it.
That was my point the whole time. You know what I mean?
There's no Invisible Man in The Invisible Man.
I don't know. Hollow Man was more.
What are you talking about?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, he's got a camo suit, but you know what? That movie is awesome.
It's a guy in a Predator suit.
Yeah,
it's a good movie, but not an Invisible Man movie.
I'm okay with that. That was a legitimately good modern adaptation of a film.
Oh, I thought
the movie was
a good thriller. It was scary.
It felt like a slap in the face to me.
No, well, I see what Brian's saying. Like it never stayed true to the actual franchise.
Just like
I get it. Brian's being a purist.
Well, there's no monster.
There's no Invisible Man.
Yeah,
he's Snake Eyes. He's a G.I. Joe. It's a thriller. Just like the Wolfman's probably gonna be a cross.
Call it something else.
It's like, you did something that looks like the Human Predator.
It has nothing to do with the H.G. Wells story. It has nothing to do with the James Whale or Universal.
It's a man who has rendered himself invisible through
like a ninja.
The basis of the Invisible Man.
I
liked it.
I can't remember too much of that movie.
Is that the Invisible Man turns his body seemingly translucent, seemingly see-through.
I get what you're saying.
So that his skin bends light.
Well, no, I think it's the psychology behind it.
But like, you know what? This
bends light.
This didn't bother me at all. The Kevin Bacon rendition of like being more faithful to that
not even a character.
did not work.
Hollow Man's not even a character.
Hollow Man was way better than that track.
Yeah, I loved Hollow Man.
Hollow Man was fucking Verhoeven.
Hollow Man was
so good.
Shit.
Even the effects were like groundbreaking at that time. The whole gorilla scene. Oh my god, so good.
One movie I think we can agree on.
I tell you, man, I thought this release. As far as being, I thought this latest Invisible Man was far superior to Hollow.
Blasphemy.
Good movie.
Blasphemy. Yeah, check this out.
I'm a Philistine.
Is that the Blair Witch Project?
Oh, you like what you like.
Yeah, exactly. It's boring.
Oh, Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah, I was like, what are they doing with this?
Coming to a cinema near you. They're finally doing it. The movie theaters are going out of business. They're starting to fucking run old movies again.
Hell yeah.
Hello? Because they know
that that's one of my favorite things to do, especially with movies. Especially with older movies, I didn't get a chance. Like didn't get a chance, or I was too young to see in the theaters. I love the retro movie replay.
Fuck yeah!
I think movie. There's not going to be any movie theaters in the next 2 years, maybe 3 years.
Mine just closed down. The one near me just closed down.
There's not enough people going to them to support it. You know, I mean,
but if they showed shit like this, they would have
honestly,
in seats.
All $5, dude. So everyone's mobbing over here.
I think they should just bring back.
Here don't mean it's gonna be busy everywhere else, though. You know.
I think what would bring it back is like drive-ins. Yeah, if they do drive-ins.
I got a drive-in over here too.
Oh, I love drive-ins when I was a kid.
I never went. I've been wanting to go so bad, but it's right on the border. So I'm just like,
well, it'd be low overhead. Like you wouldn't need to pay for like a big building. All you need is a field and a big fucking screen.
Technically, they just need to reduce the goddamn fucking price.
If they had released the fucking shitty Crow remake
and a food truck, we need some concessions.
Re-released the 1994 original.
Yeah.
Right in the same theater. Guess which one would be sold out?
Right. No, 100%, dude. A hot take. I like the remake of this better than the original. Not, you know.
It's not shit.
And I'm gonna be
the 2000 one.
Yeah, the Marcus.
Are you talking about the one with Arlie Emery? Because Arlie Emery made that movie.
I like that one way more than the three. And Lobo playing fucking Leatherface, running around, big ass Bernarski. And I like the second one too. Way better than this.
I like the second one. That's when they had this chainsaw duel. Is that the second one? Is that when they had dueled with chainsaws?
Yes, part two.
The beginning.
Yeah.
That was my favorite scene. Yeah,
that's awesome. Amazing. Well, I mean, that's a classic and a masterpiece in its own right. That's maybe
Hopper.
Maybe the greatest.
I mean, yeah. That's the shit. Yeah.
It's a bold thing.
The 2000 one,
but it might be the best American horror film of the 80s.
So good. Yeah, no. And I've only seen
it once. What's great about that film is like Leatherface isn't even the best, villain in the film. Like Arlie Emery is in that scene where he's in the van with that guy. And he's got the gun. He's like, I'm telling you, if you can get it away, if you shoot me. And they've got him backlit, so all you get him is silhouetted and like rim lighted.
It's crazy.
And oh man, best scene in the film.
Same director of photography, the same guy that shot this movie
we're
looking
at. Ourselves a killer.
Yeah, same people did it,
Back in theaters.
I love
October 2024. Fuck
yeah, that's genius.
Yes,
that was a genius move.
Yes,
and restored in 4K. Woo.
They're all pretty good.
I got to meet Gunner before he died.
Oh, have you guys seen the newest, the Texas Chainsaw, the one from Netflix?
No.
Did you guys watch that? I really wanted to watch it. I didn't see it though. My least favorite though is Leatherface. For some reason, that movie was just the movie Leatherface with Stephen Dorff. He's like the sheriff. I didn't really. I don't know. I wasn't really feeling.
Are you talking about Leatherface or Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3?
No, Leatherface.
Okay,
not the one with Vigo.
Yeah, because Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 3 is a junky, it's an inferior sequel, but it's a fun one.
Yeah.
It's worth watching. It's okay. It's all right. It's just don't expect the classic because the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 are both absolute fucking masterpieces.
Well, Brian, I want you to know something. Like, I'm used to being like disappointed nowadays.
Yes.
There's very little that can disappoint me.
You're gonna see this, and you're gonna be fucking it's gonna be lit.
I mean, it's like every time I get excited about something, I'm like, oh man.
Yeah, no, I always set my standards real low, and I don't watch things under a microscope anymore. That way, I'm never disappointed.
But you're also a sweet summer child.
Disappointed.
Matt is the sweet summer child of the bunch of us in the sense that he still kind of believes a little, right?
No, I don't. I gave up a long time ago. I
don't believe it at all.
I try to look for shit that's fun in there, but it really has to, I don't know, piss me off for me not to like it. And there's a lot of
there's still hope out there. There's still hope out there. Like when you see something like, Hereditary or the remake of Suspiria, and you're like, oh, they're still
Terrifier 3. Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
The horror genre is so huge right now. It's blown up so big that there are a million movies getting made, and that means a lot of the good stuff's going to get lost in the shuffle, right? Like my friend Chris, by the way, if you're listening, much love to you, homie. He's jacked up right now with like a torn up fucking leg. He tore his Achilles tendon.
Oh god!
So,
he's jacked up right now. Yeah, he's on the wheelchair. He's all fucked up. And I was just actually hanging out with him last night watching fucking some trash movies because, the dude needs a little fucking cheering up right now. Poultrygeist.
Yeah, just to
that movie's hilarious.
Poultrygeist, that's classic.
Did Brian hate Texas Chainsaw?
I'll say this.
4. You know what? Yes, I did hate Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4. Joe Bob Briggs says that that's the best horror movie of the 90s. I love me some Joe Bob, but yeah, we have a major disagreement there. I would love to hear I'd love to hear him explain how that's the best horror movie of the 90s.
Explain your way out of this one, Joe Bob. I haven't even heard of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4. What's it's just called that? There's no.
Yeah. Oh no, the Next Generation. It's called.
Oh, by the way,
let me Next Generation.
Let me plug this movie real quick. I just saw this a few nights ago, and I think it's Aaron Eckhart's best performance of his career. But if you get a chance, go see Rumble, about a worn-out pit fighter who has something to fight for one last time.
He's a good actor.
He plays a guy who's got dude, in this movie he is so dope.
Who reminds me of?
Such an impressive role.
Thomas Jane.
Like him too.
He's like Thomas Jane's brother. Like they could be brothers,
Yeah, Thomas Jane's awesome, but like Aaron's so good, and he deserves a lot more attention than he normally gets.
Battle LA was dope, dude.
Is the best.
So this is very much a comic book related show. We're most of us are comic book creators or involved in comic books in some way, shape, or form.
Who made the Cemetery Man comic?
It is a comic book. It's originally a comic book. It's by the same creator of Dylan Dog.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
Actually,
Dylan Dog was his biggest hit. That was more like a fumetti, I think.
Yes. And it was a fumetti, but it was fully illustrated, which is to say, wasn't fumetti in the sense that fumetti is often used not to describe so much Italian comic books, but comic books that are made out of photographs.
But I've always known it's a black and white, low budget underground comic books.
Right.
It's what we call them here. It's like those old. Remember those old like pseudo porn erotic comics?
Yeah.
They're like the size of an ash can, folded on paper with.
Right.
That was a fumetti. Like it was pure black and white, no grayscale, no nothing.
Did you guys ever see Zayd? Phil and his brothers fumetti comic?
No.
No.
Yeah, like their first comic book was all Yeah, it was their first comic book they ever made was all photos of them.
Really? No, I've never seen this.
Yeah.
They need to fucking re-release that as like a fucking bonus or something like that.
He showed it to me on stream one time. Like it was kind of cool. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Well, those dudes are impressive. Those dudes are fucking killing it. They're just fucking putting out quality book after quality book after quality book. And can't wait to get the new shit, the Lost Pages Kill Journal crossover. Everybody go to fucking Indiegogo and back that because it looks dope as fuck. And you're not going to wait fucking 2 or 3 years to get the fucking thing.
Well, you should use reverse psychology and be like, don't fucking back anything Phil puts in.
So yeah, Dylan Dog is because I had to get this straight, right? Because I thought I kind of knew what the deal was.
I just did a quick research. It's Fumetto. Right. Fumetto. The difference is the last letter.
Ah, interesting.
Fumetti is the picture one. Fumetto is the comic book.
Interesting. I did not know that. Sim, when you were coming up, did you have access to Italian comic books? Because we never got those in America. Yeah. We still haven't gotten those.
Yeah, no, we never got it.
Yeah, everything was translated in French pretty early. Like the French got to get their hands on almost everything because that if they want to distribute to France, they has to be translated in French, even movies. Like they won't take a Quebec translation; it needs to be in French.
They're finally translating.
So that's how I got access to anime early, mangas and shit like that. When
I know you guys made out.
Did any Italian works ever make it into a scene, or was it all just French comic creators?
No. Like I said, we had Italian comic books. Like I knew about Dylan Dog, and I knew
I'm just wondering about any of those making it over here, and like my exposure was the heavy metal.
But that's the thing, heavy metal was a lot of the French, like Italian and shit, like Dunan or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, this one's pretty cool. I like this one. This one's very busy. There's a lot going on right here.
Same thing with movies. It's like back then.
That one's cool. Yeah,
it's easier to find movies in anime and French still to this day.
Yep. Yeah, well, it's because you're like the Japanese, in that it's just another medium like novels or music or movies.
Yeah, but us we consider comic books in the ninth art, like in France.
Yep.
So it's not just for kids. It's the ninth art.
Yeah. It's its own medium, and you can make stuff for anybody in that medium.
Yep.
I mean, shit.
That was the mistake over here. Even though like we've had comic books that dealt with adult subjects throughout the history of comics in America. You had war comics, you had romance comics, you had obviously you had horror, you had all sorts of things outside of superheroes. But the stigma came with when they started publishing the funny animal books, and they ended up being called funny books, and that gave the impression, oh, this is all for kids, and it all got lumped into the same thing.
But that's because of that market. Yeah, that's the thing is in French, La bande dessinée, it's not funny books. You have children comic books and you have adult ones.
This one's pretty cool.
That's what I hate about the books over there, just as I do Japan and Korea and China. They like you guys have it. It's its own distinct art form, and it's treated as such.
Yep. Oh yeah. Wait. Damn it.
By the way,
another form of storytelling.
I don't know if you grabbed them, Brian, but I just wanted to let you know about it because I got number 1 already.
Yeah.
Really? The Argentinian comic book is actually getting translated in English by Antarctic Press, something like that. It's a four part. Yeah, number 1's out. I have it here.
Fuck yes. I've been waiting to read that comic for like 30 years, dude. I've been waiting 30 years to fucking read that damn comic. Because after seeing the movie, I was like, that would make the
YOR. It's the old movie. It was based on it. It's about like a savage. You start the movie, you think you're watching.
I remember.
And then you find out that it has aliens and shit. They actually in the future.
Yeah. I need to check that movie. There's so many movies I used to watch when I was a kid.
Oh, that one's a pisser.
Yeah,
that inspired me.
It's Kelsey Shannon doing the covers. One of the covers.
Yes. Indeed he is. Yep.
Yeah, this movie was cool, Timothy. If you're a fan of like Frighteners, I'd say that's like the closest thing that I could think of. And Beetlejuice, it's another one.
Dylan Dog, good.
But it's
Dylan Dog, I love that movie. It's low budget, but goddamn, I love it.
Did you check it out yet, Brian?
Dylan Dog. No, I haven't watched it yet.
So we all seen it. What about you? What
about
you, Bracey? You see Dylan Dog yet?
I've never had a chance to read the graphic novels, but I did get to see the movie. Yeah, and at the time I had questions because I was hanging out on Steve Niles forums a lot, and he was doing a series called Criminal Macabre, and I was like,
yeah,
hey man, like what's going on here? It seems very
like it's not just the movie though. I mean, it's all the history that they pound like all of the world building they did within the movie.
Mm-hmm.
That I was just like, God damn, dude, this is fucking awesome. There's a whole underground.
Wild Zero. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wild Zero is like a Japanese zombie, and there's a band in it called Guitar Wolf, who were like the Japanese version of the Ramones. And I actually saw them live opening up for the Cramps, I think, in 1999. And they were just a fucking pisser because they're just Japanese cats, but they're just like total greasers, you know, with like the MC jackets and fucking, you know, slicking back their hair and shit, like crazy, like total fucking rockabilly dudes.
I think my favorite Gonzo. I think my favorite Gonzo Japanese film has got to be Tetsuo the Iron Man.
That's a great one. That's a great one. I think a racer.
Awesome. I think that's on Tubi.
Yeah. Also, Joe Bob hosts that on Shudder as well.
Nice.
I gotta watch one of those things. I'd love to watch one of those. There's not that many of those live horror host shows anymore, you know.
Dude, I'm telling you, there's only one reason the best streaming service for horror is Tubi. Bar fucking none, right? The only reason I actually spend like the extra $8 a month for fucking Shudder is for fucking Joe Bob.
Joe Bob.
Yeah, because to me, it's like you're when you can't hang out with your homies and watch horror movies together, it's like the next best thing.
You know, you should have like a live stream like this where you can kind of chime in and talk to you guys. That'd be pretty dope, you know.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah. Like even if you did a YouTube channel where you did it like once a week or something. One thing I liked about this was there's something about like for Butch Cleaver, I wanted to make like a comic arc where it was solely set in a cemetery where it was a graveland where there was cities in there, and that was another reason why I like Nightbreed so much. There's just something really cool about staging something in a cemetery. There's a lot you could do with it,
yes.
And I still am going to do that one day. But and that was how this was, man, and like they were in there a lot, you know. So
and one of the things
Timothy down there says like this movie seems to have a noir aspect,
noir vibe to it,
a little bit.
Yeah, I can definitely see that in the way a lot of the shots are structured and the lighting.
It's Italian horror.
The context of the story, what happens, and it's pretty freaking noir.
Yeah, 100%. It's just in the monologue. He's got the detective monologue, you know.
Yes, the Raymond Chandler.
You know, of course,
you know the way it ends, the fucking ambiguous ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
keep you guessing.
Here, let's watch the trailer real quick.
Yeah, like.
I'm the watchman.
Yeah, I can't wait to get Brian's thoughts on that because I do have thoughts on that as well.
I don't know how the epidemic started. All I know is
that shot
on the 7th night.
Nagi!
Come back to life.
Whoa.
Okay, so this is not the original trailer. This has got to be for like the Blu-ray re-release or something, because you wouldn't see those comments, right? Like what did it say? Romantic and surreal. Yeah. So this has got to be a new trailer. I thought it was the old one, but let's still watch this. The Will o' the Wisp.
With your consent, I'd like to marry Nagi.
Not as long, dear, as I've got a breath in my body.
We'll fix that.
Yes, and this movie has the other flying zombie head in cinema history. The first flying zombie head is in Zombie 3, which was directed by Lucio Fulci and Bruno Mattei, because Lucio Fulci quit the movie like halfway through, and they had to bring Bruno Mattei in to finish it. And so the movie has it's very strange, like, because you don't know like who directed what. Things don't really seem to fit together. And then there's a scene where somebody opens a refrigerator, and there's a zombie head inside, and it flies out and bites somebody on the neck. And it's like, how did this, like, what is its method of propulsion?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like somebody took a zombie head and fucking whipped it at you, which would be pretty metal.
Well,
it's just a zombie head that just flies out and fucking bites you. And the same thing happens here.
I was thinking the same thing about this, not about like when she flew, but when he first collects her, like you just see it scooting along the ground. And I'm like, what is going on?
It reminds me of those Asian vampires.
And it's very like, there's a lot of like, you know, you have the Grim Reaper obviously in there, so you're dealing with a lot of supernatural shit, you know. So for me, that it got the pass in that front, you know.
Oh, of course, yeah. And also, this movie doesn't pretend to take place anywhere other than its own reality.
Yeah,
right?
Graveyard reality, right?
Right.
The fantasy world.
One of the things I've always loved and respected about Scorsese since I was a kid was when I was a kid, I would subscribe to all the movie magazines. So that wasn't just Starlog and Fangoria. It was Film Comment. It was American Film from the American Film Institute. And I remember in one of those, like, you know, hoity-toity mainstream magazines, Martin Scorsese wrote an article on David Cronenberg and was a champion of David Cronenberg when he was doing, I think his new movie had just come out was Videodrome.
Nice.
Right? And Scorsese says that he's also a huge Hammer fan. One of his favorite movies is And Frankenstein Created Woman, right? Which is about the transmigration of souls. And he's also a Mario Bava fanatic. One of the ways he prepares for a movie when he's going to shoot a new movie is he watches a bunch of Mario Bava movies. So even though he's, you know, not somebody you would think of as a horror director, horror fan to the core.
Wouldn't that be something else, huh? Yeah, at least one before he died. You know, maybe one.
Well,
Stop killing the dead. Why don't you just kill the living?
I love that part.
So cool.
It's very metal. I mean, it's very much.
That's my favorite scene.
Oh yeah,
is that Rupert doing the voice
that's
of that?
awesome. That's awesome right there. But in the hospital where you just, what is she doing on the floor? Oh, she's taking a nap. You know, and she's
man,
praying.
That zoom out shot. It looked like something out of Frank Miller. You know.
Absolutely, dude. It was badass.
Now this looks like something that's out of a fucking.
Well, this looks like
Terry Gilliam.
Oh yeah.
Well, it looks like definitely. It's like the Grim Reaper from Baron Munchausen. I love the whole animatronic wire thing that they're doing here.
It's 100,000.
Like you said,
tell me that a fucking CGI fucking
Gilliam.
animation is going to be fucking cooler than this.
Yeah, just kill the living. Are you listening to me?
Don't you believe me?
No.
Tough.
Yeah. It definitely has its place, but like, you know, good physical practical effects are just.
Oh my god, yeah.
Like, I remember like watching like what was I watching? It was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and the Vogons were done by the Jim Henson team, and the faces and the movement and the expression on that was so good.
Yeah,
it, like it looked like a living, breathing thing.
Is that the movie or is that the series?
The movie.
I never seen the series. I've seen the movie, and I know what you're talking about because anything.
Yeah,
almost
the movie.
anything
The
that Jim
movie
Henson
stars.
touched.
No, the movie starred Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
And Martin Freeman and Mos Def and the Vogons. Like you just watch them, and you're like, oh, I feel like I'm really looking at a lips move, the nostrils, the eyes, the twitch of the eyelids, the brows. It's
now, I'll be honest,
the movie like
People Rocks not have two heads in that.
The movie was boring as fuck.
He does, but they did some CGI to get that.
The series.
His other head was kind of like below his head, like he'd lean one head back, and this other head would pop up. It wasn't like the genies that gave him the prosthetic head.
And what about Marvin the Paranoid Android?
He was voiced by Alan Rickman, but performed by Warwick Davis.
Ah, cool.
So Warwick Davis is in this little robot outfit, and Alan Rickman's going like, "Brain the stars of a planet, but nobody pays me any attention."
Another really creepy thing that Jim Henson had their hand in was the Dark Crystal. Like, those fucking vultures, dude, were sick. So
metal and scary and slimy. Yeah.
I was watching the behind the scenes on that, and they rigged up the suits so it wasn't resting on their shoulders or the back. The suits were hips to give them a different sort of presence and gait, so it didn't feel like somebody in a suit, or at least not a human.
They re-released the Dark Crystal like as a series on Netflix, and then after the first season, they said it was too expensive, so they canceled it. But everybody was like, of course the first season was expensive because they had to create the Muppets. You know, they had to create the puppets and the scenery.
I watched the first couple of episodes. And that, and I was really not all that impressed. I'm sad to say.
Yeah, I wasn't especially fond. I watched the first episode.
I wasn't feeling it.
I wasn't feeling it.
I thought it was way better than actually the effects and the puppets way better than the
I didn't hate it. It's not like I was like, ugh. It's just I never got around to watching more of it.
Yeah.
But maybe I'll give it another look. You've got a beautiful ossuary.
Right?
You know, so this scene made me think of like
has to fucking
this scene.
Go ahead.
This scene weirdly made me think of Lassie from Porky's. It's like,
snap.
so this is your thing,
right?
I was like, cool, a goth chick.
Yeah.
He's like, she's just too hot.
Yes, well, there's a reason I have the no goth chick dating rule. That's because I dated a lot of goth chicks. But yeah, and then the Will-o'-the-Wisps show up, right? All the special effects in this are just wonderful. But yeah, for those of you that aren't familiar with the story, basically you've got Francesco Delamore, who works as the caretaker of a cemetery where the
engineer.
They keep calling him that. Although that's
one thing I got a problem with his character.
Yeah,
he keeps saying he's impotent, but then he has sex with a chick in a graveyard.
Oh no, it's a rumor.
Well, the town says he's impotent. He knows he's not.
Okay, because he told Koepp he was.
He was.
Yes.
Well, he told her that because she was into him, but she could only be with somebody who was impotent. So
that was the other chick that looked like the original chick that got decapitated. Well, that shot in the head. But I'm talking about after the chick died, the cop came sniffing around and he was like, "Yeah, I know I couldn't do it because I'm impotent."
Right.
Yeah. He spreads rumors about.
He was going with that because it was keeping him safe.
Yeah,
I get it. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, and then of course there are those punks that all make fun of him, right?
And died
by the cafe, and then he shows up and just fucking with the blanket,
lights him up,
straightens the ass out, puts them on their fucking backs.
The motorcycle guy, even though it's implausible as fuck, I thought it was still cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, nothing about this movie is trying to be realistic. Do you know what I'm saying? It's
even a blinker in his eye.
Right here.
Especially when you start realizing what the fuck's going on.
Right. Yeah. This is an interesting detail. That's a good example, I think, is when you see this.
Oh, when the face changed on the grave?
Yes, and the face changes, right? When you first see him and she's talking about what a great lover he was, he's grinning. He's grinning like a schoolboy. He's like, yeah, damn right. And then they're going at it next to his grave, and now he looks like this.
Yeah, it's like Biden.
What the fuck? Oh, hell.
I love that.
Oh, hell no.
Now, do you think he was in hell the whole time, or was it some? Because I thought it was some type of afterlife, like
purgatory
in a movie.
Well, here's the thing: there is a rule, at 7 days they come back, but this guy's been buried 2 weeks. But this triggers like Brian said, every time they come up, you'll see the plant. The plant's always involved.
Back faster. The scouts come back faster.
Yes.
Yeah. This is the first guy to break the rule.
The way that the movie ends with the fucking cliff with no other road out.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about right there.
So
because it's like
technically, like it's letting you that it's technically a hell, a purgatory type of thing.
That's exactly.
Not just that.
Yeah.
It's that when the fucking sorry about the name, I forgot his name, but the retard wakes up, throws the fucking gun.
Nagi.
Throws the fucking gun. At the end, it's Nagi that says, "Take me back home," and it's fucking De La Morte that goes,
"Knock."
Yeah.
Yeah.
They switch places.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what cued me in that this isn't the real world. This is like hell, or purgatory or something like that. Yeah.
Well,
until I got to the end,
that's how they understand each other. Like like Nagi,
until I guess
talking, and the other one's not fucking talking his language. Like it's a weird fucking thing.
Until I
understand Nagi. But then again, he could understand Nagi, I think, the way that you can maybe understand like a dog or a cat. Like when I get close to an animal, just a cat, like they could just look at me and I know what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like they don't even have to make it obvious. They're just going to look at me and say, "Oh, I know what you want. Like you want some brush."
A friend of mine used to be like that with women.
That's a question of habit. It's not a question of understanding them.
Yeah.
It's like I know when my cat's coming to me and he's rubbing his fucking head on my leg when I'm working. He obviously wants food or water.
A friend of mine used to be like that with chicks. Like he would just know what they wanted, and they would. It was crazy.
I mean,
even when they said no, because I know better.
Well, here the zombies are somehow brought back by the soil or the plants in the soil, because whenever the zombies come out of their graves, they always have like these roots coming out of them.
That's true. Yeah.
And when he reanimates in his grave, you see, well, first of all, he's right there. There's this picture going, "What the hell?" And then we see a shot. The camera slinks down, very slinky, sort of serpentine cinematography in this. We see a root that's going down into the grave, and we see inside the grave, and we see that the root has burst through the side of the coffin and gone into his body. And when he comes to, the first thing he does is he takes that root that's connected to him and he breaks it. Mm-hmm. And then he comes out of his grave. So that seems to be kind of like their modus operandi.
That's what I'm saying. It's like with death showing up and saying, "Stop killing the dead, kill," like it all points to like, this isn't the real world. You know what I'm saying?
Not even a little.
Yeah.
Well, there's definitely different layers to that, because like when you first
dude, the fact that the same girl comes back one after the other, looking exactly the same.
That's what I'm trying to,
dude.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to here. Like this film keeps taking you on this journey. Like when you first see it, you think like, okay, it's a zombie movie, right? But then as it progresses, you start to wonder, well, maybe all this is in his head. A very unreliable narrator. You have instances where you can't trust his perceptions anymore. And then by the end, you're like, oh, is this some sort of weird purgatory? You're like, this is its own little encapsulated world. So what is it? The whole movie is unreliable when you take it like that.
Yes.
You have to have some type of imagination to be able to watch this movie. And keep up with it. You know what I'm saying?
Viewings too. I would take at least 3 viewings. I think that the land there, the dirt, is like a gateway into purgatory. I think death is fucking with them a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's reincarnating the woman that he loves, fucking with them, and he's writing that line between heaven and hell.
Even
could be coincidence. The third and fourth? No, dude. There's no way.
Quit killing the dead. I'm gonna teach you a lesson. I'm gonna keep bringing her back. And I don't know. And then he's also a medium, probably, right? Would you guys say he's obviously a medium, right?
I don't know. The fact that she keeps coming, the fact that the girl keeps coming back, I'm pretty sure he killed her in real life. And that's
I think he's the keeper. Like he's Death's like assistant.
Maybe he's Death's new replacement. You know what I mean?
Could
maybe
be possible.
You know, he's like, "Where are you going? You know, where the fuck you going?" Remember that?
Yes.
Nagi was fucking disgusting, but he was one of my favorite characters.
Oh yeah. Well, his dietary habits were disgusting. He wasn't disgusting.
But throwing up all that shit.
Pukes all over the girl.
This movie was like a perfect gym for me.
I don't know.
Like
by the end of the film,
Yeah, he falls in love with the little girl. I thought that was fucking weird.
It's a classic. It is. I believe, and a lot of other people believe, the last great Italian horror film. Mm-hmm. Now, like I said, when this came out, it was at the same time, relatively speaking, as when Guillermo del Toro dropped Kronos, right? Yeah. Boom, went straight to Hollywood. And then Peter Jackson dropped Brain Dead, also known as Dead Alive. Boom, straight to Hollywood to make The Frighteners. This movie was going to do the same thing for Michele Soavi, but his wife got sick. She got cancer. And so he couldn't go. He was like, "I'm sorry, I'm staying home. I'm taking care of my wife." And she recovered.
Right move.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Right?
Yeah, no, but his career didn't.
Right? And his career, but it was too late. His career didn't. And so Michele Soavi is one of like 3 directors I think of as like the trinity of what could have been for
dude, like is that an excuse though? Like, because he could like put out some cool low budget movies. He's obviously had the talent to it, you know?
Got some chops.
The Italian movie industry was dead. And I mean DEAD. Stick it with a fucking fork. It was done. It was done.
It's fucking amazing.
They stopped making movies in Italy. They stopped making movies in Japan, too, for the most part. Because they just basically when people went to the movies, they were going to watch Hollywood movies, and then everything that was homegrown was television.
How did they kill the Italian movie?
You had Lucio Fulci. They were still making movies, but they were making them for TV.
Yeah.
And those movies are unwatchable.
Maybe tapes. Maybe tapes really took off or something.
No,
I don't know.
Yeah,
we got a Sergio Leone movie we're planning on watching, but it's called fucking Once Upon a Time in America, and it's with Robert De Niro.
It's okay.
Oh yeah, that's his.
And it's like a 4-hour goddamn movie.
His Godfather series, pretty much in one movie.
Yes, and they released it in a truncated version, and he in America, and he was upset, and he was like, "I'm making them a nicer movie. Why do they do this? Why do they take like 2 hours out of this nice movie I make for them?"
It's on YouTube, actually, the whole movie.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I've seen it like advertised for years.
It's good. I wouldn't put it on the same level as his previous work, though. After that, he was going to do Stalingrad, but you know, Homeboy died. I think at 48.
Did he really? Holy shit, dude!
Once you hit that 40, man, I gotta know Felix. Felix, this is big, man. I've known Felix from like Bancroft's channel, you know, big time guy, always dropping our links. Much love to you, brother. I gotta know what you love about this movie so much, and it's a pleasure having you over on the Horror Movie Club. If you're in the chat, maybe you could, you know, for me, I felt like I was kind of it was one of those movies where you kind of experience it, you know, like it really it was a real world, you know what I mean? I felt like I mean, the first Beetlejuice was like
it's
that.
Immersive.
Too. In some movies, I'm just giving that as an example, where they really create worlds where they're very transportive, you know.
Rupert Everett could have done a lot more of everything. I think.
Yeah, I just saw him Inspector Gadget. Yeah. I'm like, that's a Dr. Claw. What's he doing here?
He was gay, and he was one of those actors that was gay that didn't have a trouble having chemistry with his female co-stars.
The dude looked like the British version of Ash.
Yeah, right? That's a crazy face too, like a good cartoon.
He's in a bunch of movies. I did an IMDb search on him, and he's.
Oh yeah. He did well for himself. He did well for himself. But yeah, the artist, the guy who wrote and illustrated Dylan Dog, based Dylan Dog on him.
Okay.
Cool.
And this movie is based on a novel by the same author /
fucking
artist.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So he's part of the lore of Dylan Dog, and essentially this is a doppelganger dog, and he even had the bug too. You know.
Yes.
I would love to see. Is there a Dylan Dog movie that is produced from Italy?
No.
Okay.
No.
Really?
Like I said, the Italians don't make movies anymore. They had the Italian movie industry died in the late 80s, pretty much.
Was it?
never came back. Like,
was it by design?
This wasn't no. It was just business. It was just like people didn't want to go to the movie theaters to support homegrown Italian cinema. So the theaters were like, well, let's just show fucking Die Hard,
right? You would think that they would have made one, like someone in Italy, like would be like, let's make our fucking
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like they had all the skills to do it. I mean, they had all these great,
you know, that's their Constantine, that's their Criminal Macabre, you know. But then we had to do it, you know, kind of. And ours is
and then of course.
Well, wait a second. Didn't they?
Or is it kind of like the way
remake? Didn't they recently remake or do a continuation of Danger Diabolic? Isn't that Italian?
There's 2 movies that were made that are like very, very low budget, very independent movies. I started watching one of them and it was okay. You know, not on the same level as, you know, the fucking Mario Bava classic, but there's a video game. Diabolic is one of those comics that I've always wanted to read since I was like in high school, but it's never been translated into English ever. And I don't know why. That's why I'm glad we're getting your, at least. I've been curious about
now
comics for fucking like 30 years.
You can use Google Translate to translate all of it. Just put your phone over to text.
Really?
Right.
That's fucking wild. God,
yeah, it's crazy, man.
Here's something I gotta say. I love about the Scouts. I love this kid all the way on the right. That he's trying to make fire with the stick the whole time.
Yes. And this is when the zombies are like very mechanical, like they're just biting.
Look at him. He's trying to make fire with the stick. I love it. It's like, why was he trying to make fire with the stick on the bus?
That was funny. There was a bunch of hilarious parts of this fucking movie, dude. Especially your boy sitting there eating his food while all this is going on. And he's upset because his TV.
He's got the headphones, so he's not hearing anything.
Then he puts his girlfriend inside the TV.
Like, you know, and he even when he realizes it's, you know, like zombies, he just shoves him off because he's still watching. He's really into his program.
Looks like Felix has a comment. Looks like he replied.
Hello, Felix. Oh, glad that you're still hanging out with us, brother. Yeah, no, Felix is an OG. It's not just a horror movie where zombies come back. It's that deeper aspect, like the detective that never recognizes the MC as a killer, and the road at the end of the movie, right, where the characters switch. Right, the ending has been compared a lot to the ending of Waiting for Godot. If you're not familiar with Waiting for Godot, it's this very famous play about an existential thing where these 2 characters are waiting for this guy named Godot. Not sure who that is, but he's clearly supposed to be symbolized like some kind of like a Christ figure, I think. And it has a dark humor to it. Like the kind of humor that you get in Waiting for Godot is where one of the characters decides that he's going to hang himself. He wants to kill himself. He's sick of waiting. So he takes off his belt to make a noose and his pants fall down. That's the kind of fucking humor that's in that.
You kind of got to have a little bit of that, right? To break it up.
Here's what I was from the film when I was watching it, because I started getting into this whole unreliable narrator thing. And then the switch at the end that was so surreal. I was thinking American Psycho, which also has a very unreliable narrator, because you think it's happening, and then you get to like, okay, maybe none of this has really happened, and David Lynch's Lost Highway character change into a different character.
God, I hated that movie. The Lost Highway was the worst, dude. Like I finally seen that like 2 years ago because I was always interested in the soundtrack.
It's not.
God, it's fucking terrible, dude. It's not a work of art. It's terrible.
The Pumpkins.
It's not top tier.
I don't know. I dig it, and maybe it's
not bottom tier Lynch. It's
maybe it's just all about maybe it's just all about like what's his name, Beretta.
Yeah,
you know,
this feels like
from the future on the phone, looking like a vampire.
It feels like one of those things where it's so terrible it's supposed to be art. You know what I'm saying? Like That's what The Lost Highway feels like. Like everybody's like, "Oh no, it's a masterpiece." And I watched it. I was like, "This is the worst piece of garbage I've ever seen."
I didn't like
it's a masterpiece. I think it's mid for a David Lynch.
Mid. That thing was terrible. Dude.
It's not like Fire Walk with Me or Dune.
It needs to be on the highway, and people need to roll over it because it was terrible. It was
damn,
terrible.
Yeah, I didn't bother with Fire Walk with Me.
Oh, that movie made me so fucking.
You know this. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this film, but like this whole sequence where the motorcycle erupts from the ground reminded me of Psychomania.
Dude, I fucking love that scene. It reminded me of that part on the Headless Horseman, where the Headless Horseman comes from under the tree.
Yes,
that was so dope. No, this
was pretty dope.
Fucking awesome.
Yeah,
and he had the blinker in his eye. I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
too.
I was trying to remember.
The makeup is out of control. Yeah, when you get the close up, yeah,
it's like he took all reason out of it. He's like, "Fuck it, just make it as metal as fuck." Dude.
Well, you know, it was so great, like because the movie starts at one. Okay, it's like horror comedy. You know, this guy's got to keep the dead people in their graves, and some of them even talk back. The very first guy's get his briefcase. He's going to work, and you're like, why did he get buried with his briefcase?
Exactly. Why did he get buried with his
motorcycle? When they got all the bodies laid out, and he's laid out. He's got all these wreaths on him, and they left him on his motorcycle to bury him.
It's crazy.
It's just so farcical at that point.
Yes. Like right from the beginning,
And
you know it's like a zombie. Yeah,
and this whole bit.
Yeah.
This whole bit is so Italian, so European, but so very Italian. Where she begs them to let her be eaten. But she's like, let him eat me, you know, I love him.
Leave him alone, he's eating.
He's just eating me, and then like I get to decide who eats me.
So like it's the combination of the humor of the double entendre plus that weird sort of European romance idea going on at the same thing. That uber commitment to the ideal of love.
Yes.
I bet that earthquake means something too.
Well, I mean, this is not the first scene in a horror movie where a motorcycle comes flying out of a grave, by the way. There's a British horror movie called Psychomania,
baby.
Which is also on Tubi.
Classic.
And a classic. It was pretty funny because when I bought the DVD release of it, there was an interview with the star, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that movie's total rubbish." And then so the guy that was putting together the DVD was like, "Well, let's go watch a screening of it together, and maybe you could do like an audio commentary." And he was just like, and they're sitting there watching it. It's just like, "Yeah, no, it's still rubbish. It's still rubbish." And the guy's like, "No, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You don't see it, but this movie's awesome, and it is too."
Well, you know, the thing I liked about the motorcycle scene, there's no rhyme or reason why a motorcycle would come popping out of the grave.
You hear him revving up.
Yeah, you can hear him. You can hear him cranking up. He's kickstarting it underneath the ground.
Yeah. That's fucking sick, dude.
That's great.
Metal.
Yeah, man. You know, I see him like jumping in front of the moon, and I'm like, oh look, Amblin Entertainment.
Like, guys are pleased.
And Nagi just throws the spade after them.
You know, one of the things I thought was funny about this movie is that they obviously didn't get the rights. So every time something fucked up happens, they have a song that starts that's like Hellraiser.
You know what else is cool too? After he gets he's thinking to himself, and he's like, Nagi would never put me down if I ever turned. And Nagi's sitting there with the shovels.
Yeah, because Nagi, you don't turn into a zombie from a bite. Look at the detail.
Look at that motorcycle, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and the fucking score in here was crazy.
The score, I could have sworn I was watching the movie and I'm like, this has to be Simon Boswell. It's actually not. It's actually, let me check real quick on the IMDb's. It is actually by, actually Wikipedia is better for that. Because IMDb is all fucked up. They ruined that site. Manuel de Sica. I could have sworn it was Boswell for sure. Because Boswell did a bunch of stuff for the Italians.
Lorenzo Satulito. Hell, thanks for stopping by from Facebook.
Oh, hey, what's up? Yeah,
I like the score.
Comment.
I thought it was cool. At first, I was like, you know what I mean. But then it kind of felt like, you know, it's.
It sounds like Tangerine Dream at points.
It did, yeah. It fits. You know, it's spooky,
Absolutely.
it's fun, it's fantastical. It's of the time.
Yes, totally.
Perfect.
Claudio.
Yeah, I don't care what the actor says. Psychomania was great when I was a kid.
Yes.
Psychomania is still great to this very day.
I don't think I've ever seen Psychomania. I'm gonna have to check that out.
My opinion has not changed.
Write that down.
So awesome. Yeah. No, I mean, I thought it was just funny because the guy that he was watching the movie with was basically like a stand-in for me or anybody else who loves that movie, and be like, you're wrong, you just don't see it. This is not rubbish. This is awesome. But yeah, no, he just didn't see it.
That's how artists are, right? Never good enough.
Some people, yeah.
Got to like look like that kid from Pet Cemetery 2 in a second.
I mean,
Clancy Brown,
remember? Something out of like a Guar show.
Exactly. He's got a piece of the peg for his foot. Like,
oh man.
But it's like a very intricate makeup.
Yeah, it is. He said, "Come with me if you want to live."
See ya.
I love how he ends up killing both of them at the same time. So great.
Yeah, that's where he starts to unravel.
Please don't.
Mm-hmm.
He's only eating me.
Yeah, here's where she stands up for her rights, though. Her rights as a woman.
I shall be eaten by whoever I please.
Be eaten by whoever I please. That's like the second best line after you've got a beautiful ossuary.
My body, my choice.
Yep.
Shit, it almost looks like he's got devil horns with those roots coming out of his head, dude.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
I'm not
did
sure.
give him quite the
Enfield?
Love the gun, yeah.
Yeah, that's like an old British pistol, a break open. I think that's
because you see
World War I.
Yeah, you see how it's got the little it's got the little O-ring on the bottom.
Yep.
Yeah. Because they would often have a lanyard going from the ring, from the pistol to their belt.
Yep.
So they couldn't lose it in the midst of combat.
Yep.
The living dead and the dying living are all the same.
The dying living.
Same cloth. But disposing of dead people is a public service, whereas you're in all sorts of trouble if you kill someone when they're still alive.
The detective.
Yeah, so he has to bury the girl's body with
alive
with the Revenant, right? And that's, I think, where he starts to.
I think he started unraveling when his girlfriend came back for the second time, and he realized that he actually killed. Mm-hmm. He killed her. Like she wasn't dead from the bite.
She wasn't actually dead. Yeah.
Yeah, she was in shock, and I think that's where he started to unravel. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
what did it. That's what
like when she comes back. This was the start, but when she comes back and he realized, like, oh, I killed her, then it was just a plunge off the edge of the cliff from that point.
Exactly.
Done deal.
I think that's what makes it a horror movie.
That's why my take.
That's just cool. That's
why my take.
It turns it into horror, you know.
Yup.
That's why, like, my take on the end of the film is, I think the end of the film, at some point, he's lost the plot. He's been convicted, executed, killed in a gunfight or something, and I think the movie just kind of shows. And again, this is just my supposition. but I think he's actually in a hell of his own making, because we know there is a world outside of, you know, whatever little spot they are. So I'm like, you know, you're talking about purgatory. I think he's actually in a hell that he made, because you see his criminal activity just ramp up to the point where he is just a ruthlessly cold-blooded killer.
But technically, that's the
no longer remorseful about it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That is hell. Like that's what hell is.
It's you go through your worst.
Yeah, and so that's what I think. Because you know the detective goes from actively trying to. Yeah, the detective goes from actively trying to pursue him to going like, "Oh, good, you've got a gun, you can defend yourself." When, like, you know, it's
he's like, "I fucking did it."
This guy would be able to tell what's going down.
He's like, "It was me."
Yeah, I think, yeah, I think at some point he died, and that's why he keeps reliving this circumstance. Now he's reliving his past, his crimes, his insanity.
Right, or maybe it's like purgatory in that he's going to have to go through this over and over and over until he gets it right. You know, that's also a possibility.
I never got
what I love about films like this is that they're open to interpretation, that they don't give you answers. This is something modern American
I think we're right and you're wrong about that. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, that's the beauty of
No, the movie's not crap.
Well, it's like when Preston was telling me, and I've heard this from other people before, that when you go to like a university to study art, they're like, okay, tell us what this painting's about. Tell me what this might represent or what this symbolizes. Yeah. And that is antithetical to the very heart and the very nature of art itself. Because the whole
you have to explain your work.
Yeah. You trust the tale, not the teller. Right? It's makes a vigilante movie. The guy that did the one with Michael Caine.
Completely hypocritical, by the way.
Stallone remade it. What was that?
Not Get Carter. Not Get Carter. No, this was a Harry Brown.
Oh, it's not Get Carter?
No, it's called Harry Brown. And the director said it was, you know, it was about all this high-minded shit. And I watched the movie and I'm like, no, this is about Michael Caine. You know, there are some hoodies that need to be sorted out, and Michael Caine sorts them out at the end.
Wait, isn't that the one where like the one? Isn't that the one where the one kid tries
that one thing in the movie I watched? And I was like,
you have failed.
Completely different. Yeah, trust the tale, not the teller. So I mean, it's like the opinion of the person that made the art is worthless. Or
you know, I'm up for interpretation because I've
what you're describing is fine art, and fine art is the most hypocritical form of art. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to modern fine art. Okay,
that's the most hypocritical.
Because I mean, it's completely hypocritical. Like the way they described it to me, it was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I have to convince you why the art's good? That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's retarded and literally retarded thinking, backward fucking thinking.
James Hurley's got a question for you, Brian.
Oh, what's Brian's thoughts on the movie Run Lola Run? Oh, that's a fucking classic. That's the movie that sort of put German cinema back on the map. And Franca Potente's fucking smoking fucking hot in that. Jesus Christ.
I still haven't got around to seeing that one yet.
She was yummy. Don't know what she looks like these days. Of course, she ended up being in some pretty big movies. She was in The Bourne Identity. Yeah. She was the chick that was in that. Yeah. And then they killed her off at the beginning of the next one because, frankly, that character needed to be killed off if you were going to have a sequel. Yeah, this is
the right. The plot wasn't going to move forward otherwise.
Oh, what you say, Matt?
Saying your boy is smoking crack lately.
Who's smoking crack?
Your boy Zach. That fool's just on one. So he's just far out.
I don't know.
Is he going off again?
Is he literally smoking? I mean, like,
no, he's not. He's doing it to fucking bring a new audience, switch up his fucking programming.
What are you talking about? What is he doing?
He's trying to go mainstream, is what he's trying to do. Your boy Zach, he's rebranding.
Well, wait a minute. I thought that was part of the deal that he made with Wade, Mark Wade, to go ahead and drop the lawsuit and do some mainstream.
Oh, that was
pretty fucking
no, like you
shitty shit with that fundraiser. You know?
He's trying to
the person
figure.
that was running the fundraiser.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a.
Nobody got their money back.
Carry on amongst yourselves.
Like all that money that was in the fund just magically disappeared. Yeah, it got donated to charity.
Zach has definitely lost the plot.
Yeah, well, I think the plot.
He has lost the plot.
There was no.
I think he's just going like anti everything. Seeing because if you just start shit on like with something or say that the opposite to something, you're gonna get a reaction. You're gonna get views. You're gonna get new people.
Oh, you think because of the AI thing? That's why he's
No, he's going against like Nerdrotic.
He's going
all those not Yellow Flash, but a lot of the Friday Night Tights guys. He's just saying that they don't watch movies. Like he's also going against people that
he's claiming they don't watch the entire movie. Like Comic Book Girl 19 didn't watch the entire film.
And a lot of people are saying things are woke, and he's like, "It's not woke."
Well, Zach,
like the Acolyte, I don't know.
He said, he's complaining, saying people aren't watching the entire film, but it takes him like a week to a month to get through a movie because he's got some weird focus issues. He'll talk about, it took me 3 days to read this. To read 22 pages, bro. I can do that in like 10 minutes. Come on, man. So he's got some weird OCD kind of hang-ups.
Like, you know how EVS has to have drama going on constantly, be able to keep the money flowing? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, that's what Zach kind of feels like. Like he's pumping his drama, and he's pumping up the drama by claiming the other people are pumping.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and it's been really sad because I really used to enjoy his content. He used
oh my god!
He's the
whole scene.
Yeah,
he's the one that brought us all together.
Yeah, he did, and like you can't deny that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll still subscribe to his channel. I'm not gonna be a little wham and subscribe to him or whatever. But at the same time, I'm not gonna like sit there and eat a bullshit sandwich. You know what I'm talking?
Exactly.
Yep.
So he does have some good points.
Yeah, like I'll make it through like 30 seconds of a video and know whether or not like okay I can watch this, and we're like no, you're just saying this crap again, and I dip out.
Yeah.
Because every now and then he's talked about some stuff that like feels pretty legitimate.
Yeah. Right. It's just like
most
this
of the stuff he says is
rebranding.
kind of like
Yeah, this rebranding, it just feels very
fake,
insincere.
You know, if Zach was a smart man, he would realize that he doesn't need to brand anything. He's got all these IPs under his belt that people actually like and they follow. All he has to do is like keep pumping out those IPs and do new and imaginative things with it, and he'd make money.
Expendables comics and shit.
Yeah.
It's just like he's trying to break into the mainstream.
Stallone for First Blood.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
He just stick to his own shit and just review shit and not have to fucking attack other people. He's already got a name for himself. He doesn't need to fucking.
Yeah, he was in a good lane. He was in a really good lane.
Come on.
And
why do people want to crawl into other people's lanes? That's weird.
I know. Well, I mean, I can understand why people want to go onward and upward. It's just I would much rather have a small but dedicated fan base than mass appeal.
Well, I'm talking about like people who like leech off of other people's audiences too. Like you go ahead and absorb other people's audiences by making friends with them, buddies, and then you make it into conflict.
Yeah.
And then you're at odds, and then you make that audience choose between him and I don't know. It's very odd. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? He might be bipolar. He might be bipolar.
Yeah.
That's entirely possible.
He's been in a
if you believe this shit be planned, you're high.
Guard, fucking National Guard, Army. He's done a lot of shit for this country, so he's been through a lot of shit. So
yeah. Oh, no, and that's the thing. You can't take people's propers away.
Yeah, he was a Marine. He's seen some stuff.
You can't. But this is all planned. Everything he's doing right now is planned.
Oh, totally. Yeah. It's very cynical. It feels very, very cynical.
Yeah, you can't blame it on ADD because there's medication to treat all that shit. You know that. I mean, come on, dude.
From experience, yes. From personal experience, yes.
And there's programs to get around that. Like I've never known anybody that can't focus on a movie.
And this is the thing. This is the thing. I can act the fool. Most people can, right? But it's all about a pattern of behavior, right? Mm-hmm. So if I act the fool, that doesn't mean I'm going to be acting the fool the next day, right? Or something like that. It's just like every now and then, maybe I might act the fool, right?
Same here. Yeah,
but when you see somebody, it's a pattern of behavior, and it's just like over and over and over and over and over again. That's when you go. That's when my fucking spidey sense starts fucking tingling. And Paulus Art says, I'm still subbed on an alt account, just not this one. Yeah, I mean, I hate to see what he's doing, because I don't think it's going to work out. I don't think it's going to work out.
Like
I'm not subbed.
I'm still subbed to him because, like I said, every now and again, I do like, oh, this sounds pretty interesting. You know.
Yeah, he's got some good takes,
but like
the
majority of his videos. Yeah. The majority of his videos have become so tedious that I'm out in like the first minute.
I'm still subbed, but I never watch his videos.
Well, a lot of them
I'll be straight with you.
Shit about the same people, so it's like, come on.
I'm not subbed to him because there's so many other things that I'm trying to accomplish. Like I just don't need to be politically poisoned by this motherfucker.
I had no idea what the fuck you guys were talking about, so I took the time to go do a little.
I'm talking about you, Sim. You fucking asshole.
Yeah, I know.
Your boy Sim.
I live rent free.
You Canadian prick.
He lives rent. I like that. He lives rent free.
You know what I have to say? Though. Sorry.
Syrup.
Got a moose.
So that said,
your moose knuckle.
I've seen the thing of the loose knuckles. Anyways,
we love our homie to the north. And by the way,
never forget that we are the meanest at war. You know,
for sure. Yeah. And you yourself, that story you told about when you were working security and how you came running down that hill after that fucking van.
That's why they bought me the fucking badge called saying Wolverine, because I ran down a fucking minivan, came back with the fucking shit. Yeah.
You know, it was funny. Funny story. I was working security. I was working security with this older black guy, right? And it was in a bad part of town, and it was a hotel. And now here's the funny part. Like right next to the hotel, there was this all night like sex shop, right? And these people would go in there and watch whatever movie was playing in the sex theater. And then they would come out and they'd jump in their car in our parking lot and start banging. So our job was to go over there and block these motherfuckers, right?
Wait a second. Wait. I'm sorry to stop you. I know it's really rude to stop somebody mid-story. What year was this?
This was not. I was a teenager. No, I was in my early 20s.
Theaters in there?
Early 20s, yes, because it was like, it was like 90s maybe.
Oh my god,
late 90s.
They got rid of the fucking porno theaters like at the end of the 70s in my area. No,
they didn't. It's like they had the porno theaters inside the sex shops, right? So anyway,
like peep shows or something like that.
This was also a bad neighborhood where it was like, you know, kind of ghetto and stuff like that, where you heard guns. So every now and then we'd have to go on patrol outside. It was a big, nice hotel in the middle of this like fucking disaster area, right? And we'd have to go out on patrol and go patrol the parking lots and all kinds of shit like that. And one night, this black dude came running inside. He's fucking locked the fucking doors. There's gunshots going off. People like shooting at each other.
In the bathtub.
It was nuts, dude. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, what the fuck's going on? He's like, just lock the goddamn doors. Because we were unarmed security. So
god damn. It's not like you could shoot back if they came in blasting at you. God damn, that's scary.
Get on the roof.
That shit's terrifying. Fucking hell, man. No, I mean, I lived in the fucking ghetto.
That was a situation.
I mean, I remember like the first time I heard like it sounded like firecrackers, pop, pop, pop.
Yeah.
And then I suddenly heard this blood curdling scream from a woman. Ah! And that's when I realized it weren't fucking firecrackers.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ, man.
Okay, so
when you
wait,
Sim, I went to check the freaking Diablo Zach thing, and I saw that the critical drinker thing.
Critical
I agree that's pretty fucking stupid. No, but that was very stupid. And I've seen some of the other posts that you guys were mentioning, because like I said, I just want to get an idea of it, right? I can understand some points that he was trying to make on other posts about, talk about it good, talk about it bad. As long as you talk about it, it's good promotion, right? So I kind of there's a whole bunch of people bringing that point of the fucking thing there. But dude, I agree that going after a whole bunch of people, calling them grifters, it's not very good.
I think it's kind of lazy, right? Go ahead and
if you want to
try
express your point, you can express your point without attacking people.
Exactly. I think it's kind of lazy to go ahead and attack people to kind of produce revenue.
Express your fucking point without specifically attacking people.
Yep. Like the Critical Drinker is an actual critic.
What's weird about it is the
really thoughtful review.
Like, I follow him. I watch a lot of his streams, like a lot of his videos. I watch some of his streams.
He's very good.
And Zach used to do really good reviews, and him attacking people is so hypocritical because a lot of he got his bones by going after people who were actually hypocritical people working in the industry, like these no talent
you
people.
live long enough, you become the people you hate.
Like comics,
Max Osagio, people
happens
like that.
to a lot of people.
Yeah, and so now he's attacking people who actually care about it. And it's like, dude, these people care. They're not trying to get the Netflix deal,
Yeah, it's almost like
what's up, man?
Just for the
sake of other people are trying to bring the fact that they don't talk about the good in like indie comics or the good movies and stuff like that. They're really just about shitting on shit, but they give them money. So it's kind of like you should be able to like play both parts. Like you want to criticize shit, okay, but don't forget to bring in like, that movie was pretty decent. Like they never have a fucking
Critical Trigger does that all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like you're the leader or you're the head of this organization that's anti-political stuff. And then you got all these cool creators under your belt, all these people that follow you, and then you turn on those cool creators because you're running out of people to fight with to make more money.
Dude, that's any fucking movement. I've been saying this for years, dude. Any movement, they start by
and didn't he go after
then you find any reason to fucking fight, and then you end up fighting your own people, and you turn on into the fucking monster you're starting to fight.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, man.
Sometimes you need to know when to go after and go like, hey, dude, we won.
Somebody should tell Zach he's becoming more.
Didn't he go after West from Thinking Critical as well? But like West talks about comics he likes as well as the ones he doesn't.
Yeah.
So I don't get that.
But it's one thing that I've been trying to be careful, and I've been talking to some of my friends about is let's be careful not to fall into that really, really bad spot where we can't appreciate anything.
Well, if you have that kind of time to be able to fall into that type of spot, then you have way too much time on your hand, dude.
Yeah, but you could be doing like shit that's more fun. Pick up a hobby, do some like Warhammer 40K or something.
You could be creating more comics like he originally was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's what we're doing. Oh man, dude, the
nuts,
one I'm
dude.
writing right now. I can fucking taste that shit, man.
His trajectory has been weirdly like what was that one guy? It was something like Captain Canuck
Cummings,
and he used to wear like this kind of like Canadian like beaver kind of hat weird thing. He had the flaps over the ears.
Yeah,
he was the guy I spotted before.
Oh yeah.
Was that it? Okay,
was that
Captain Cummings? Yeah,
Captain Frugal.
He started out.
Was a decent creator.
Yeah, because he started out. Captain Cummings started out like as this kind of culture warrior, and then he like just flipped 180 degrees and went totally woke. Zach is going the same way, going like weird.
Time to wake up.
Weird to see the flip.
He's becoming Howard Stern.
Time to wake up. Not woke up, but wake up.
Oh, jeez.
I
for real.
Man. I don't know. It's
nothing edgy about that cat anymore.
Fuck it. You know what I mean? It's just people are human and they change
forever.
It's unfortunate. All good things must come to an end, boys.
It's all very just short-sighted. Do you know what I mean? It's very short game, not long game.
Yeah. Who's he taking advice from?
Long game, and
people call them grifters, while you cannot let go of what you, the way that you started making money. It's kind of weird. It sounds like you don't want people to fucking fight. You want people to be more positive. Then be more positive.
Yes. Yes, be the change that you want to see. That's something that Critical Drinker does. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That guy actually will praise certain movies, especially movies that are sort of overlooked.
It's like those people that go, I hate drama, but star drama.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, star drama, motherfucker.
That reminds me, Brian. Brian, I've been wanting to ask you, since you've always got the deets on these things, where was this location? Because the location for this film was gorgeous.
Rome.
Especially all the cemetery set pieces.
Yeah.
Dude, the cemetery was amazing.
I mean, did they build the cemetery? Was this a...
It's a set. It's a set. Cemeteries have always
impressively
been shoot in for legal reasons, actually. Now, somebody like Jean Rollin, he used real cemeteries in his films, and French cemeteries, which are beautiful. They have a lot of wrought iron, like crosses and shit. Like, they're awesome. And then he has, and then you have something like this, where clearly it's a set, because it has to look a certain way, right? Yeah. Where basically he's in this little cabin, and the zombies are all kind of like coming up, towards him.
I was wondering. I mean, I understood some of it had to be set pieces, but I kept thinking there's so many gorgeous settings in Europe like this, and the cinematography impressed me so much. But I kept going like, man, these set pieces are really incredible in the cemetery, just beautifully done.
Our cemeteries up here in Louisiana, like, because we have to bury people above ground. We have a lot of if you look at some of the
all those mausoleums.
I mean, dude, they have such awesome statues.
Yeah,
like above people's.
That's why I want to go over there, man. Check all that shit. I want to make a book that takes place, like I was saying earlier in the stream, a Butch Lever one where there's a whole city. It's in a grave. If you go over to the Philippines,
Louisiana.
People live, and the people in like the Philippines, they live in the graves. They live in cemeteries. They have to pay rent. And they actually live there. They got their stoves on there. They're living in the cemetery. They evict people. I swear, like
that's crazy. I like that idea.
I know that's why I want to do it. It's like it's dope.
Oh, you haven't
paid your rent.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And it's one of the locations I also wanted to use for my werewolf comic, which I would love to do with Preston, because Preston's actually from where the comic is set, but everybody's doing fucking werewolf comics, so I can't do my werewolf comic probably for another like 3 or 4 years.
Plus my dance cards. My dance card's getting pretty full. So.
We'll see. Yeah. Preston's becoming a busy boy, which is awesome. But
Good for you, Preston.
This is the ossuary scene. Yeah, there's hot shit fucking cooking behind the scenes that we can't fucking talk about. But yeah, you have an ossuary.
Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but like when she leaves at the end of this scene, you see all this sunlight coming through the door, the sunlight coming through across. So when she leaves after like the ossuary grosser, there's nothing but blackness outside of that door.
Right. Yeah.
Exciting.
Kind of an Ed Wood thing where there's no distinguishing between night and day.
Or day for night.
And it's not even like it's night. It's like it's almost like they just screened in the whole back. They hid that whole doorway and like some sort of dark covering. It was like, well, that's an interesting choice.
Okay. It's like she's sniffing these rotting cerements.
She's a goth chick.
Dude, I told you, it's like Lassie from Porky.
Busy in the cemetery's one thing, but like sniffing fucking,
you gotta figure she was also, she was sleeping with that old man, so he probably smelled like death to begin with.
Oh, snap.
True. Nicole Smith.
Yeah, but the thing is, she said it, he fucking hit that shit right. And that's what's funny is like she's talking about like how fucking awesome he was as a lay, and then you see his picture on the grave on the tombstone, and he's fucking grinning like
I did.
He's like, yeah, man, I was slinging dick.
She called him tireless.
It's like a
Yep.
This is my dream.
He got the job done.
Hopefully they talk about me when I'm that age.
Of course. Yeah, man.
He was tireless. It was insane.
Hey, man.
He ruined many a woman.
I hope somebody wants to fuck me when I'm that old.
If you got enough money.
Right?
You know, you've got a real nice horse, Siri.
Siri?
It's so funny. The great wordplay.
Thank you. I made it myself.
Ossuary.
And that's another thing that's interesting about this movie is that this was mostly shot in English. Now, what they normally do when they have multilingual casts is that sometimes the actors, instead of actually reading dialogue, will count. Like 1, 2, 3,
Are you serious?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I did notice it was dubbed in a bunch of places. Like
some of the actors are, and some of the actors.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say they do it like some of the giallos, where the English speakers speak English and the Italian speakers speak Italian, and just wherever it's playing, they overdub that person in the native language.
Yes.
Like this.
Because they would shoot without sound too, but this was clearly shot with sound. Great scene.
Take me now.
Kinky.
The one unrotted piece of cloth in the entire ossuary.
I know.
Floating in the water.
You know, one thing I thought.
Yeah, he's
sticking
his tongue all in it.
After watching it the second time, I realized something. Every time he's with her, it's kind of like fantastic, awkward, weird, right?
Yeah.
Except one. There's only one, and it's when he kills her with the fire, with the student when she says she loves him, and then he finds out that he has to pay. So to me, the thing is, I think that's when he actually did kill her. That was his actual crime.
That's an interesting idea. I didn't consider that. I didn't consider that.
Because everything else is like pseudo fantastic, gothic type of thing.
Yes.
It's kind of a like funny thing, but the other one is very fucking serious. There's nothing weird. There's nothing corny. It's just, and then he finds out this, and then he puts the heater, let her fucking die.
Stream suspended.
And shit. Yeah, it's really weird because
that's what I was saying. Like I think. Because like when he goes and he murders in the town center, the center of town, that was played very straight as well.
Yeah,
and that's why I tend to think like he's dead, he's in hell, and he's paying for his crimes over and over again.
And then the guy that he knows but doesn't know anymore, because when he says "I don't know you," trying to steal his kill, and he's all offended that he's trying to steal his kill, and that's the kill. Which that's what I'm saying. Like it's like he's cracking out and he's remembering what he actually did to be stuck where he is.
Right.
Or you think he was the guy in the bed instead of his friend? Like that's
no, that he's the actual murder is the other one.
I'm fucking around with you.
Always fucking around. Thing is, what happens to people who fuck around? Sometimes they find out, motherfucker.
Why can't you ever be serious?
You're just so lucky that Sonny Chiba is not.
And that is the fun thing about films like this is like the fun thing about films like this is you can have these discussions over and over again, still trying to get to the bottom of things.
Well, I will say this. One thing about Sonny Chiba. Sonny Chiba was one of the first like Chinese films to actually have a gay couple in a martial arts film.
Nani? He would jack you up so fucking hard. You popping your fucking arms out of your sockets and just fucking fucking you up.
Is that Death trying to get it?
I got to meet Sonny Chiba before he passed away.
Did you really? How the hell did you meet Sonny Chiba?
He was at GalaxyCon in North Carolina in 2018.
Get the fuck
No shit. God damn.
I got to meet. I got his autograph, and I got the guy who's his name is escaping right now. But I got the autograph of the guy who played Ultraman. I have the audio. I have the autograph. I have the autograph of Haruo Nakajima, who played Godzilla in 1954 and several films after. If I could just get the guy who did Gamera, that would be like a trifecta.
That'd be like the holy grail. Did you see the Ultraman movie on Netflix? Not the series, the movie.
Yeah.
It was good. Yeah, I thought it was good. Anyway, I thought it was decent.
Is that the new one? Because I remember they did one, I think, in 2014 that was really good.
No, not the Shin. The Shin was good.
Ultraman?
No, I like the Shin. This was a 3D animated Ultraman movie on Netflix.
No, I haven't seen that one yet. But the Shin Ultraman was definitely a love letter to the '60s one.
Well, the one on Netflix, like the new 3D animated, it's like the dad passes on the Ultraman to his son, and at the end, then they have to raise this fucking monster. You know what I'm saying? And then both of them have to fight like a mecha, like beast at the end of the movie. You know, it's
right.
Sick. It's awesome.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, no, I mean, I still haven't caught up with those. I tried watching the Gamera animated series, and the animation
hard, dude.
Was ugly.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Ugly. People were saying that the script is really good, but like, I'm sorry, it's like
no, I couldn't get past the animation either. It was that weird 3D, 2D animation.
Get to the part where Gamera fights this version of Gurion, and you'll be like, okay, that was pretty tight.
It is, but that's the problem, is getting to that part.
Kaiju.
Like trying to get to that part is fucking hard, dude, when you're dealing with that type of
because I hated the design of the guy. For me, it comes down to like sometimes it comes down to like the style of things or the character concept. Like I hated the look of the guys throughout the entire thing, but I was glad some of the subsequent monsters ended up looking a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, it can be, it can be tough being a kaiju fan sometimes, but I do love me some good kaiju movies. I especially love the Japanese Godzilla movies from the 90s. I thought that those were just absolutely wonderful because
the Heisei era.
Yeah, the Heisei era.
Those are badass, dude. Mecha Ghidorah. Ooh.
Oh my God! Mecha King Ghidorah.
Best of all, like that,
King Ghidorah shows up like cyborg King Ghidorah.
Dude, that was sick.
This is fucking dope. Yes.
Oh, me too, dude. And
the greatest thing, greatest thing about the Heisei era is it is a complete continuity. It's the only era of Godzilla that has a complete continuity from start to finish.
Yes, and what I love is that they created this world where they just sort of learn to live with Godzilla, right? That every now and then this giant fucking lizard is going to come out of the fucking water and fucking just start stomping everything.
What did you think of the evil Mothra?
And everything. What was that?
The evil Mothra?
Oh,
the evil Mothra. Like the war Mothra?
The Batra.
Yeah.
Batra.
Batra.
Yeah.
Yes, in Godzilla versus Mothra. I actually just watched that the other day.
Dude, that Batra is fucking sick. Son.
Oh, awesome, man! What they did was, because I know people always think of them as like men in rubber suits. What they are is puppets.
Yep.
Right, but they're full body puppets. The way that the puppets are in, like I said,
Jim Henson stuff.
And the Jim Henson stuff, right? And then for the close-ups, they have a puppet. Right?
Well, in the 90s, they were puppets. Like before that, it wasn't really puppet because the eyes didn't really move. It was kind of like just almost a static face.
No, but it's still like a pantomime.
Well, that's what he's talking about. He's
moving a puppet around, but they're moving it with their body.
Do you know no, but in the 90s, like it was like, dude, it was
and it was a tail?
complete
like
articulation. You know?
Yeah. They would have a whole crew of people. Like a guy in the suit and somebody working the fucking like 2 or 3 people working the fucking tail. Right,
and making all those little cities.
Like it was very clearly a marionette. Right.
I want to make a movie like that. I would love to make a movie like just build a town and just put a costume and just fucking trash it.
One of the things I'll never forget. One of the things I'll never forget was the behind the scenes footage on one of those films. It was like on one of the special edition DVDs or one of the DVDs. Because the first ones they put out were very no frills, but you got to see behind the scenes of I forget which one this was, but you see the guys that are building the construct.
I've seen it. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
And they're placing explosives like squibs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting ready to blow this thing the fuck up, and they just have the biggest shit-eating grins on their fucking faces. Like,
dude, how can you not? How can you not have a shit-eating grin on? Did you see where in the studio they created a lake and it's supposed to be the ocean Godzilla's walking through?
Oh, it's a huge tub.
Dude, it's fucking awesome, dude. It's sick.
Yeah.
I think one of the gargantuans had a big lake too.
Whenever I saw that stuff, I always wondered, like, the actor keep from drowning, because you got this rubber suit, you've got these tiny little holes you look through.
You have a crew.
You got no real ventilation, and now they're like, okay, you've got to be underwater, and this suit's going to fill up with water really fast. And can they get your head off fast enough so you can breathe and let all this water?
I think a lot of that was like the underwater scenes. I don't think that were they really underwater. I thought they would. It was just kind of
that was wet for dry, or that was dry for wet. I'm talking about when you see Godzilla actually come up out of the water. That means Homeboy actually has to be in the water in the full suit, and the suit is just filling up with water before they call action. So this poor dude has to act while holding his breath. He's rubber suit, so he's holding his breath, and he's blind and deaf, basically doing his thing. I can tell you this right now. He doesn't die before they call cut.
Yeah.
If one of those Japanese guys did die in the water dressed as Godzilla, I think he'd be put on a that's probably the most honorable death they could possibly.
Yeah, they'd totally put him on a pedestal.
A G suit, dude. Dying in the G suit would be the most G thing ever.
You ever seen those actors that play Godzilla? Like it's a medal of honor, dude.
Yes, fuck yeah. No, those dudes are royalty.
Especially when in the beginning when they made those suits out of metal, like a metal wire, to go ahead and frame the suit out, and then the wire came loose.
The very first,
and the whole time the dude was walking in it, the wire was digging into his leg, and he's like proud of that shit. He shows the.
It was made out of a ton of latex, wood framing, and chicken wire, and it was heavy and uncomfortable and stiff. If you ever see those old pictures of like the Godzilla suit where he looks like he has this really wide frog-like head, that didn't work. It was so heavy and immovable they couldn't use it. That's why the actual suit that got used looks very different in the structure and the head.
So what they ended up doing is they chopped that in
half. Yeah, they chopped that in half. So when you see Godzilla's feet, that's actually the first suit, and he's got suspenders on because he can move himself. So they scrapped the upper body and they made a whole new suit that he could actually move in, and he still lost 40 pounds playing Godzilla in that movie.
Yeah.
From exhaustion and sweating,
stress.
Yeah. The coolest toy that I've ever seen, right? Unfortunately, never bought it. Was a Godzilla figure where you could undo the back and inside was
and the actor was inside.
That's pretty awesome.
That's some G shit right there.
Yeah, totally.
God damn.
Yeah.
Fuck. So let me see. What should we watch next week? I guess we're doing Spaghetti Western Jamboree.
Ooh, nice.
So I'm thinking maybe we should do another Bud Spencer and Terrence Hill possibly.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yes, absolutely.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
A couple knee smacks.
Assuming I can be here.
Yeah, fucking Bud Spencer just pounding motherfuckers into the ground like 10 pegs.
Oh yeah, he does smack. I said knee smacks because they're funny, but he does smack and pulls around.
Mostly Terrence Hill slapping motherfuckers, bitch slapping.
Well, I don't remember which one it was because he does the slap in a number of films, but I love one where he slaps the one guy so many times that he actually breaks the camera like, what the hell?
Awesome. Yeah, those movies are great. Okay, so next week gonna be like a either, or it could be maybe Buddy Goes to the West, which is like solo Bud Spencer, but is also fucking awesome. Or maybe it'll be like one of the movies from the Cat Stevens Hutch trilogy, like Ace High, or because we haven't done that yet, or Boot Hill. No, I probably stole too much stuff from Boot Hill for Six Gun Gorilla for me to show that. Then people would be like, "You're always complaining about Tarantino stealing shit." But yeah. Anyway, folks,
it's homage. It's homage.
It's homage. It's homage. Thank you for watching. Definitely spank that like button. So hit the subscribe button. Do the ring and ding ding dong the bell for notifications. And check us out next week. But before you check us out next week, Preston, where can people find you?
Right here.
Yeah.
Next week. And on X. Nicky the Pipe on X.
All right. If it turns out the fucking Sonny Chiba is like you faked his death, I don't know. I don't know you.
Oh man.
Oh, it's on. It's fucking on.
Matt, tell these fools where they can find you and your dope ass shit.
Oh, thanks, man. You can find me here, like Preston, on Thursdays, and you guys can find me on my show, Metal Movies and Brewskis, on Saturday nights for midnight. And this week we're going to be having on Skunk Artworks talking about his book Splash. And yeah, you guys can also hit me up on X at Runecutter Comic. Thanks, Brian.
Who is Skunk Artworks? What is who's behind that?
That's like his artist name, I guess. And he's got a book. He does a lot of paintings and stuff, and really good, really fast, very talented. And he's going to be talking about his kid's book, The Splash, and yeah, he'll be coming on at midnight Eastern time on my show, Metal Movies and Brewskis Live. So if you guys don't know about that show, I do it every Saturday night. Talk about metal, movies, comics,
and brewskis.
Yeah, well, I've been chilling on the brewskis lately because it's been kind of allergic. So I'm
really
holy
shit.
Yeah,
that's just wrong.
That's a lot of
preservative they're throwing in that shit.
It's the wheat and the hops and some people the rye. I don't know, depending on what. So
gluten allergy to beer.
That's brutal.
Yeah, man, horrible.
That's brutal.
Horrible. But sometimes you got to break those rules, man. Sometimes you need to.
Yeah, man.
I did yesterday.
Jeff, tell these people what's up and where they can find you.
All right, on the X, you can find me at Bracey452. I'm also a member of the Comic Crusaders, so if you go on YouTube, you can find us find where I've done reviews with my homies on Floppy Spoilers or Cinema Crusaders. You can also find my very abandoned YouTube channel, Mr. Bracey, where you can see my short horror films if you want to check that out. And on DeviantArt, you can find me as Bracey100 and look at my over 500 pieces of artwork. Commissions are open.
Badass, man. Very, very cool. Very, very, very cool. Thank you for hanging out with fellas. I do appreciate you and everybody watching.
Back in.
Oh yeah. You know, I mean, there's always a come as you are party, and fuck. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, that's why we also need to sign off, is because I'm at the point where my brain is starting to flag like a major way. Like my batteries are fucking running low. So to take us out, what the dealio, Pops? Are you gonna fucking take us out, or are we taking ourselves out?
Oh, and by the way, you guys can find me anywhere.
Oh,
you know my name. You know my name. It's under here.
I told you.
Damn, you really do hate Canadians. God
I know.
Damn. Brian,
sign up for Blood Hunt 2.
Honest to God, you know what it is? You know what it is?
You hate Canadians?
Because your face isn't on there.
You. Because I'm just looking at the straight line, and then you're underneath, and I'm so Dane Bramaged right now. I need more. I think I need more sleep or some shit, man. But yes, tell these fools where they can find you.
Because we can't see a face on and speak and
that sweet name there, Sim_Slayer, everywhere. Just look at it; it's everywhere.
Word.
If you go on, even on the Art Station and everywhere, I'm everywhere. I do the Weekenders on Friday nights. I do Doodle and Chill on Saturday night on my channel. Don't miss out. Natverse is getting distributed everywhere, so everybody should be getting their books. Brian's going to be late because we have to remail it. Okay. And go sign up to Tales on Natverse too.
Yeah. Paulus, you expect Canadians to have manners. Come on.
Yeah, I do. I let people interrupt me without
Thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate you. Spank the like button and all that stuff. That tickles the algorithm's ass with a feather. But